Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again this week on another just absolutely wacky, this is a messed up episode.
Fantastic.
I'll tell you guys right off the bat, This is crazy. We play idiot or asshole all the time. 100% asshole here. There's not even a hint of idiot. It's all asshole.
Calculated.
Oh boy, we'll get to it. But before we get to that, just want to thank everybody first and foremost for all of your reviews this week. Your iTunes, Apple Podcasts, and wherever the hell you listen, Spotify or Stitcher or wherever. Your reviews, they help so much. They help drive us up the charts, which is insanely important in the business of podcasting. So thank you for everyone that's done that. If you haven't done that yet, just go over to iTunes there, give us a review. Doesn't matter what you say, just give us 5 stars. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions. It's not for our ego. It's not. It's for business, like we said. If you want to be a even bigger help to the show, plenty of ways to do that. Over on social media, you can follow us there, and you can find us to follow us at shutupandgivememurder.com.
Right.
Go there for all your crime and sports, all of your small town murder needs, all of your merchandise, all of your t-shirts, all of your mugs and bath mats and shower curtains and tickets to live shows.
Yes, sir.
This week, Small Town Murder is live in Seattle, Friday the 25th of January
at the
Neptune. Get your tickets and come see us. Still some tickets left, I think. So
just a few. You better hurry.
Come grab them and come see us, because we have a hell of a show lined up for you there. That's going to be fun. And also, of course, February 21st at West Palm Beach Improv in West Palm Beach, Florida. So come out and see us there.
So exciting.
I can't wait for this. And if you want to be an even bigger, insane help, a producer, as a matter of fact, part of our team, you can do that very easily by going over to patreon.com/crimeinsports or going over to PayPal using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com.
Yes,
you can make a one-time donation. You can find those links where, Jimmy?
At shutupandgivememurder.com.
That's right, my friend. You nailed it. You nailed it. Without further ado, I think we have to get right into this, because the level of insanity here is just, this is one of those where we can't fuck around.
No.
Well, we can fuck around, but we can't talk about his mom for 20 minutes in the beginning or anything like that, because this thing is this is a thick one.
It's chewy.
And it's chewy, and I don't want it to be 4 hours long, because frankly, neither of us have the time. Just kidding. But here, let's talk about it. Let's get right into it with the Super Bowl coming up here. And I thought I had it planned perfectly as the Saints cruise through the playoffs and the goddamn referees decide to not call pass interference and fuck up my entire plan.
Bastards.
I had bet hard here on the Saints going, but it doesn't matter because they were just there. And we're going to do a member of their team who was there when they won the last time they went to the Super Bowl. We're going to do Darren Sharper.
Outstanding.
Oh boy, I don't know if you've never heard anything about Darren Sharper. If your palate is clean, holy shit, are you in for it? It's going to be filthy when we're done with you. First of all, it's going to be sticky and gross. There's going to be like a quarter stuck to it. Some lint, like a sesame seeds that you don't know where they came from. It's going to be disgusting. But if you have heard of him, you know this guy's a piece of shit.
He is.
But I don't know if you know the level of shittiness he is. But we're going to tell you all about it. Don't worry.
Great.
It's interesting. Darren Sharper, Darren Mallory Sharper.
Mallory,
like
as
the
daughter from Family Ties?
I was going to say, as in Keaton, as in Justine Bateman's character on Family Ties. Darren Mallory Sharper.
Incredible.
That's right. Hard-hitting safety. middle name is Mallory. So very nice. Not like he got picked on for that at all. I'm
No
sure.
doubt.
You know, he was like, don't anybody ever say my middle name in school.
It is Darren M. Sharper.
I will kill you. What's that M stand for? Anything. Mike, Marshall, Matt.
Motherfucker, I'll kill you if you know what it really means.
Fuck, anything but Mallory. Born November 3rd, 1975 in Richmond, Virginia. He's in Virginia, goes to college in Virginia. He's a very Virginia-centric guy until he goes to the NFL, and then he becomes,
Wherever he's at.
Wherever he's at, and we'll tell you where he settles.
Okay.
He's the youngest of three kids. He has an older sister, and then he has a brother who is just a little less than a year older than him.
Really?
Who also played in the NFL.
No kidding.
Yeah, he played for Baltimore for years. We'll talk about him. Jamie is his brother. Now, his brother is the junior.
Yeah.
Which is, his brother is James Sharper Jr.,
Okay.
and he's fine.
Right.
That's what's fucked up. I don't see any trouble with him at all in his
But
whole career.
Yeah.
But Darren, the non-junior,
Right.
and the youngest of the clan here is a complete disaster. But this is a tale of two lives.
Really?
This is the weirdest thing. It's we have several different ways these cases go. We either have sometimes you have a guy who's like all fucked up when he's a kid,
right,
and then he gets it together when he gets as a prominent athlete, and then later on when he has no money, it might fall apart again. We have the people who are fine in the middle of their career. They're so full of hubris and ego that they just do shit that they think they can get away with.
Those ones are the fascinating ones. That's where the system just fails them.
Yeah, that's that. And then there's the ones where we have they're just fuck ups the entire time.
Right.
And we have several different cases, but this is a case of everything is fine. Model citizen retires, apparently turns into fucking Dracula the second he retires. Literally goes from a bat into a blood-sucking human being. It's not literally, but if he did that, it wouldn't surprise me. That's the thing. If that literally happened, I'd go, well, you know what? He's that evil, probably. It's super weird here. So he grows up to be a big guy, 6'2", 210.
Okay.
His brother's a thicker guy. His brother's a linebacker in the NFL. So his brother's a more stocky dude than him. But Darren's still a big guy, very athletic. They go to high school in Virginia at Hermitage High, which is Hermitage. It's in Richmond. 7 NFL players went to this college. Yeah, which is pretty interesting. Dwayne Brown, who played for Houston and Seattle for 10 years. Curtis Grant, who's a linebacker briefly, Josh Vaughn, Darren Sharper, Sean Barber, who played for 10 years or so, Jamie Sharper, his brother, and John Hilton, who was an old-timey tight end for about 10 years. But 7 players from one high school, that's not in L.A. or somewhere in Florida.
Or fucking Alabama.
It's pretty good. Yeah, or in Alabama. But those L.A. schools, you look at look at Long Beach Poly. Look at their athlete list. You're like, Jesus Christ, fucking God damn it. Where the hell?
But most of those kids don't grow up in L.A., right?
No, a lot of them do. A lot, because that's like a public school. I mean, they'll recruit kids and shit like that, but it's not like a private, one of these schools, one of these factories, because they have those basketball factories where they just recruit kids, and the school is one trailer with a quote classroom in it, and that's the whole school. There's only 20 kids that go there.
The gym is sick.
Yeah, the gym's insane, bigger than the school. Yeah, only 20 kids go there. 15 are on the team. 3 deal with towels and shit like that, and 2 kids are just spastic.
Hanging banners.
They're hanging banners. They're the pump ups to the pep squad. Jesus Christ. So he goes here. Darren, like I said, very athletic. He plays both football and basketball in high school, which a lot of guys who play pro sports are multi-sport athletes.
Sure.
So
especially in high school.
Yeah, if you're a good enough athlete to play in the NFL or the NBA, you're such a good athlete. Even if you're not skilled at other sports, you're still going to do pretty well at them.
Dominate on,
especially in high school, and at that level.
Nobody really has much talent at that age. Right?
It's insane to hear what guys played what sports and shit like that, and how good they were. How many NFL quarterbacks were also drafted as pitchers or shortstops or some shit. Your John Elways.
Bo Jackson was the king, the captain of the javelin team.
He probably was. If he felt like being the captain of the javelin team, he probably fucking would have been. So, I mean, he was such a good athlete, you could have just had Bo do anything.
Everything.
And teach him for a minute, he would have figured it out and dominated it. So he played on varsity for all 4 years. He's also, Darren, he's named to the honor roll.
Really?
Yes.
Smart kid, too.
He's a smart kid, has perfect attendance 3 of his 4 years. He got sick 1 year.
Yeah.
But 3 of 4 years, he had perfect attendance.
He got sick every year. Mom just sent him to school.
You're going anyway. While being on the honor roll, and he was in the foreign language club.
Oh.
He was in student council.
My Christ.
I mean, he was a what they call a hermitage scholar, which is like the honor roll kids that also do other shit. Like, he's like a model student.
Yeah.
Like, literally, they put him up as, this is our best guy.
No doubt.
On and off the field and everything. This is, look up to him.
This guy's going to go bad.
This is
impressive.
We're going to talk, not even just bad. It's bad.
Okay.
It's Buck Zumhoff level bad.
Oh, no.
But nobody in his family. We'll talk about it. Don't worry about it. So, in high school, Sharper is a quarterback while he plays football for the most part. Okay. Which he ends up being a free safety.
Okay.
But he's 6'2" and he's athletic, and if you got a guy like that, in high school you just want him to have the ball as much as possible.
Yeah.
So he's quarterback.
In the NFL, he hit hard as fuck.
Oh, he was a hard hitter.
He was a monster.
He was a son of a bitch.
And that's
as
crazy.
A safety.
That was your quarterback at one point.
Yeah.
High school team had that dude as his quarterback.
Imagine him on the run.
Forget it.
Good luck.
Yeah.
He's going to lower his shoulder and drop. And I think that's probably why he had the ball.
Right.
There's nobody to throw to. Cool. Just take off, dude.
Run, bro.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. At one point here, there's a little, when they're in high school, there's a little something here with, a disagreement that he and his brother have later on, because they're only a year apart. So they play on the same team all the time, and they're very competitive with each other, obviously. I guess they're playing a high school called John Marshall High, and it was first and goal from inside the 1 yard line. Jamie was the running back, and Darren was the quarterback, and Jamie had just broken a 50-yard run to get them to the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
They couldn't break away, clearly.
He's earned the touchdown. Give him the ball.
Yeah, so Jamie says, quote, Coach called me to go up the middle and score the touchdown. All I know is I'm going to get the ball and it doesn't get there. And I see him go right around the end, touchdown. He threw for 1 touchdown and ran that one in, so he got most of the press that night. He stole my touchdown.
He sure in the fuck did.
He absolutely did. And so they asked Darren about that, and Darren said, quote, he said that? Here's what happened. As I was handing off, he went farther than the area. It was supposed to be up the middle, and he went on a sweep. I couldn't get it to him, so I just kept it and went around the corner. He wasn't there when he was supposed to be, so it's his fault.
Oh, shit.
So he's talking shit there. So I
think he read
Jamie
something
said,
in the
fucking hell. Yeah, he wanted to get the touchdown.
Yeah, he read something in the defense was like, this is my ball.
He's like, I can just take it whenever I want. Why would I give it to him?
Jamie ran 50 yards for that.
He could have got it if he wanted.
And he took a 1 yard run. What a dick.
No one told him to stop at the 1.
Yeah.
That's his fucking problem. He could have had that touchdown. No, so Jesus Christ. So they were on the same teams, like we said. They were both on the basketball team also.
Jesus.
Both the basketball and football teams won district titles.
Of course.
And they were both prominent member. They're both like the 2 best players on both teams, which is pretty cool here. Jamie was the one considered to be the big prospect. Yeah. He was the one that everybody looked at. They didn't really look at Darren much. I guess he doesn't have a rocket for an arm. Okay. So as a quarterback, everybody just kind of, it was whatever. But Jamie rushed for more than Darren rushed for more than 1,000 yards and made almost 100 tackles in his senior year.
What?
And they played like 11 games in high school, that's fucking impressive.
He made 100 tackles, so they
play both ways. Oh yeah, high school. If you're good, you're playing both ways. Special teams, they just want you on the field as much as possible.
1,000 yards and 100 tackles.
That's it.
That guy's a monster.
That's why, like Little League, if you're really good, they make you pitch because you should have the ball more since you throw better than most people here. So apparently Nebraska wanted Jamie to go there. They were recruiting him hard. South Carolina recruited Jamie really hard also. They wanted him.
The Cocks.
The Gamecocks. And that's where Jamie committed to go, to South Carolina.
Right.
But their parents, Harry and Pauline, didn't want him to go there for some reason. I guess their father was a tight end at Virginia State, which is a very small school, back in the 60s or something. But, a tiny school. school, and so he had like opinions about all this shit, not to go here, not to go there. They told him, Jamie, to think about academics more than the football. So they didn't like South Carolina's academics because he said he went to a place just to play football and it wasn't good for him. Jamie said, quote, after I thought it over, I realized I couldn't pass up a scholarship offer to Virginia. My dad opened the light. I was looking strictly football. So he listens to his dad, and his brother commits to Virginia, which is a pretty big school. That's a big school. It's good for academics, and it's also a pretty good sports school too.
I don't even think I know what their jersey looks like or their helmet. I see the West Virginia Mountaineers, and then I see Vautech.
Yeah.
But I don't know what Virginia looks like. Is it red and white?
Virginia, what the fuck is Virginia now?
I don't even know what their colors look like.
I don't know now, too, because they change every goddamn 3 years.
Really?
I think they had orange in their scheme at one point.
Okay.
I know that.
I see Vautech like that, too, though.
The Vautech had
like maroon or like purplish and orange, right?
That almost Texas A&M-y color, but more purple.
Yeah.
And or more darker colored. And,
I don't know.
And the W. Yeah, either way, they're more, Virginia they're usually in the tournament in basketball, so they're at least some sort of, they're a powerhouse school anyway.
I see them red and white, though.
Not really. I'm thinking NC State when you say that always, but there's a lot of red and whites, and who the hell knows. So Virginia here, Darren wasn't really ever a commodity for them. They didn't really want him. Now, the high school won 20 of the 29 games he started at quarterback. But like I said, arm strength wasn't that great.
Right.
So he played defensive back for his senior season also. And but he didn't. They looked at him more as a quarterback, these schools, so nobody really paid attention to him. Virginia, because of his brother, looked at him a little bit, but didn't really care about it. Maryland looked at him, and they ended up offering him a scholarship, but he instead chose to go to William and Mary, which is a much smaller school than Maryland.
Is that a Catholic school?
I don't know if it's Catholic or not, but it's. They said that it's. He said that it had good tradition, strong academics, and it was close to. Close to home, close to his brother. It's in Virginia still, so that sort of thing. Darren says, quote, I wanted to go to a 1A school, and I wouldn't have minded going to Virginia, but I kind of didn't want to follow in Jamie's footsteps because I had done that throughout high school.
Got it.
People always say in the paper, Jamie's little brother, and I didn't want to go through that again. That makes perfect sense to me. I could 1,000% fucking...
So we chose somewhere else instead.
Yeah, to make your own. You have to... go your own route. You can't be Jamie's little brother because his brother's good. So it's like he's good too, but it's always like, oh, Jamie's really good, and so's his little brother, which doesn't help.
That's brutal.
Their
colors are just like the Broncos scheme, like
orange,
navy
right?
and orange.
That's what I thought. I could have sworn I saw orange in there somewhere.
That's what it is.
They're the Cavaliers, Virginia, right?
Yeah, I think that's right. I didn't even
I think
look,
we've discussed that before.
Right.
Yeah, but that's anyway. So Hermitage, the high school, they honor Darren with a display on their wall of fame.
Wow.
There at the high school with all his shit and his cleats, and he's got a plaque up there and everything, their wall of fame. He graduates high school in 93. Like we said, his brother goes to Virginia and he goes to William and Mary. William and Mary, they play, now you've seen a lot of these college stadiums are 80, 90, 100,000 seats, 110,000 seats. They play in a 15,000 seat capacity.
So much smaller venue.
It's like a Texas high school stadium is what it looks like. Like there's a lot of room on the sides. You could see like buildings beyond the end zone that aren't like bowled in by seats or anything.
It's part of this compound.
Yeah, it's one
nothing to do with this area.
It's exactly. There's just like somebody's washing their car in their driveway, just beyond the end zone out there,
beyond the uprights.
Yeah, it's like the old home run derbies that used to be on ESPN when we were kids. Remember they play those from like the early '60s, the black and white ones.
Those are great.
It'd be like Hank Aaron versus Willie Mays in a home run derby. It's fucking amazing. But they played in this field. I don't know where this field was, but it was just like a park in a neighborhood, and they'd hit home runs, and you just see them sail into people's fucking yards, just into their yards. There was just houses on over there. You'd see people like barbecuing out there. There's balls flying into their yard from Hank Aaron. It's the weirdest. It's like, God, it must have been weird to live back then.
Dogs chewing on the ball.
Yeah, and then the ump would go. The ump. That's the one where he'd always go 2 away.
Right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
One down, 2 away.
Oh, it's an old timey accent.
Yeah, 2 away. And I'm sure it was just a fucking just afterwards and VO. That's all it was. I'm sure that wasn't like on field audio.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is Zabel Stadium, 15,000.
That's what it's called?
Zabel, Z-A-B-L-E.
It's like a clothery somewhere close by?
No idea. It's probably John Zabel who paid to put it up, I'm sure. He donated to the school a good amount. Right. And he's just not, it's William and Mary, so he just didn't make it enough for us to know who the fuck he is. Right. Only people in Virginia know. So he wanted to play quarterback there, and he showed up thinking, I'm quarterback of William and Mary, and his coach, a guy named Jimmie Laycock, Jimmie, Jimmye, he had another spelling of it.
What the shit?
So if we got the three of us together, it would just be three different asshole spellings of the same thing. Coming from a guy who's I-E.
I know.
How dare he use a Y?
Y-E is so fucking confusing.
I honestly agree the I is 10 times better.
It is.
I absolutely do.
This is just, I mean, Jimmy J.J. Walker made my spelling cool. This is a fun one now. But before
Jimmy
that,
with a Y is no good.
Jimmy with a Y-E, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's
You're
weird.
Never getting that right on your Christmas gifts.
Never. Everyone's fucking that up. They're going to put like Jimmie,
right.
maybe something like that, or Jymmy.
Right.
They're just all Ys.
I could see that all day long.
All day. All Christmas long.
Yes.
All day.
Right.
From the morning till after fucking turkey. It's all.
Every gift you get, you just throw it over your shoulder and go, not right.
Not for me.
That's not right.
So his coach here, though, in a smart way, didn't want him to play quarterback. He wanted him to play defensive back. And he talked Sharper into it by saying, I'll tell you what, you're not going to ever get into the NFL as a quarterback. You just don't have the arm for that. Yeah. But as a defensive back, you might be able to get to the NFL someday. That's how athletic you are.
Brilliant.
So Sharper went, well, okay, then shit, I'll try it out. So I'll play there instead of quarterback. Also,
the nice, I don't know if you ever did it in the NFL, but you've got the opportunity for gadget schemes that would, people would be shocked that he could throw a ball.
First couple years, he was a punt and kick returner a lot because he does that a lot in college too, as we'll talk about, and he's good at that shit, which a lot of times defensive backs are, because generally if you get an interception, you're then running against the grain, which is the same thing, kind of. You know, it's a weird, the same skill.
And you're returning a ball right now where everybody's at.
From a dead stop with everyone running at you, and you're running against them to get through them and weave. It's the same type of skill set, I would assume.
That's a great point. I don't think I ever even thought of that.
I didn't until right this second.
That is brilliant.
It just came out of my ass, but I think it's true. I don't know if it's
really makes a lot of sense.
It seems correct. I don't know. That would make sense to me.
Cornerbacks do it too. And
corners
that
and safeties. Yeah, you look at like Dion.
That's the same skill. Yeah, that was all he did.
Great at kick returns, and then when he got a pick, watch out, because he's going to the house. And Sharper has a shitload of touchdowns. We'll talk about. Yeah, he's
that makes so much sense.
He's up there in all-time defensive touchdowns scored.
No doubt.
He's tied for second all-time. Darren
That makes
Sharper,
sense too, because I mean, a lot of times when you get those pick sixes, you're already in stride going that direction. Where with the punt return, you're, like you said, dead stop, standing still.
You're stop and reading
the defenders. Where this way, you're already in stride,
and you
ready
still
to
have
go.
to stop and then go the other direction, which is crazy. And then against everybody,
nuts.
It's crazy. So 94, the brothers play each other in a game. Virginia plays William and Mary. It's the first time they've ever played against each other, and they've always been on the same team. So it's kind of interesting.
Unless they're in the backyard.
Unless it's a neighborhood game or some shit like that, or something when they were 8 maybe.
Right.
So I mean, they would talk shit to each other here. Jamie said, quote, I hope he's returning punts again so I get a chance to tackle him. I'd like to get a chance to nail him and see what he does. I'm going to concuss my brother. Let's see how that can't wait to ruin his career. Darren said, quote, even if I'm not returning punts, I'll be blocking, so I might get a chance to block him. Hopefully he won't see me one more time, and I'll really get a chance to catch him.
They both want to knock each other out.
They both want to fucking, they both want to clean each other's clocks.
That's incredible.
That's insane. Yeah, I think you'd avoid each other, but I don't know. Anyway, Virginia, I think, kicked the shit out of William and Mary, because William and Mary sucked against teams that were good.
Sure.
Now Darren is All-America twice while he's at William and Mary.
Really?
He's named first team All-Yankee Conference, which is where William and Mary is, the Yankee Conference. That's 3 times he's selected there. In 96, when he was a senior, he was the Yankee Conference Defensive Player of the Year. He intercepted 10 passes as a senior.
Holy shit.
Which is, they had like 11 games, so that's won a game almost. He finishes his college career with a school record 24 interceptions. Jesus. So that's pretty goddamn good. And a Division I AA record 468 career interception return yards.
Wow.
So I mean, he's good at returning that thing. Once
He's getting 40 yards of return.
Yeah, once he gets picks, watch the fuck out.
Moving at 40 yards.
Well, that's total for his.
Average. Oh,
24,
total. Got you.
24 and 40. But still, it's goddamn pretty good.
Yeah.
He's also a good punt returner. He held the William and Mary record for single season yards at 500 and career punt return yards at 1,027.
That's awesome.
So he's just holding records for everything there, and he's like the best football player to ever go to fucking William and Mary.
Huh.
Like, I looked it up. There's not a lot, and he's the guy. He's the guy that's like the most recognizable by far. 1996. William and Mary, they're known as the Tribe. William and Mary, they win the Yankee. They're the Yankee Conference champions that year. Look at them! Oh boy, exciting! Yeah. The Yankee Conference champions. They were 10-3.
Their team is called the Tribe.
The Tribe,
Jesus.
The William and Mary Tribe. So,
is it Jewish?
I doubt it. It's not Jewish. No, it's not Jewish.
That would be amazing.
And they are not Zulu warriors of any kind, I don't think.
I want it to be a Jewish school so bad.
That would be...
That's the greatest name ever for a school.
So Darren's thinking, maybe he's got a shot. Both Sharpers look like the NFL is in their future.
Yeah.
Just when is it coming? Because they're both kind of touted, but you never know. It's weird. You'll think a guy will go in the first, and we saw Aaron Rodgers was supposed to go first, and he went 25th. So you never,
crazy.
Whatever it was, 24th. You never know. The 97 NFL draft comes up, though, and they're both up for it. They're both leaving school that year. This is April 19th, 1997 at Madison Square Garden in New York. And this year, this is the overall number one pick was Orlando Pace that year.
No kidding.
Yeah, the big offensive tackle for the Rams that played forever. And Christ Hall of Famer. And, can't get any better than him. Oakland Raiders, Darren Russell, who was great defensive tackle for a long time. He was an anchor. He was really good. Sean Springs, the cornerback for the Seahawks, number 3. Peter Boulware for the Ravens, number 4. Yeah. Nasty Bryant Westbrook, number 5. Yeah. So, James Farrier in the first round. Warwick Dunn.
Wow.
We're talking about those days. Warwick Dunn. Tony Gonzalez, the Chiefs tight end that just retired.
He was drafted then?
He was drafted number 13 overall.
How about that?
In 97 here by the Chiefs. So, a lot of guys like that.
That's pretty amazing that he was able to run out that whole career there.
Oh, yeah. That's wild.
Amazing.
That's wild. That tight end.
And to be one of the greatest. At that time, when he finished, he was
he went to the Falcons at the end.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
You're right.
Yeah, but he played there forever.
That's right.
He's got all the records for tight ends, I believe. Because,
yes, I think he passed Shannon Sharp for yardage.
Because it was Sharp before him. It was,
And I think Gates was closing in there for a minute. He may be
Gates
done.
is still playing.
Yeah,
he's still out there somehow. He looks old.
Yeah.
He looks old, but he's still huge. You just throw it up,
amazing.
He boxes you out and takes it out of the sky.
And that's another one that played basketball. In college.
Yeah, he barely played football, as a matter of fact. They were like, you're huge. You should just try playing football. Next thing you know, he's the greatest tight end ever. That shows you how... Get mad if you want. There's a few skill positions in football, and then for the most part, they can take people who are super athletic and just teach them one little skill, and then they're a football player. They don't have to be. It's not like baseball or basketball, which are more it's the more fine, refined things.
You got to fine tune that baseball hitting shit.
Yeah, hitting and basketballs to touch on the ball and just the flow of the game
and the watch of a round ball off a round rim.
Yeah, you have to play it both those from the time you're very small. I feel like. To have the feel for him like that. Where basketball, Olajuwon didn't play till late, but he's the most athletic person ever. He's 7 feet tall and can run and jump and is agile and shit. Nobody's 7 feet tall and can do that
at the time. Now you got Nowitzki, and
who's still not Olajuwon.
Is he 6'10", by the way? Nowitzki?
I think he
might be 7'4".
He might he might be 7 foot, but Nowitzki was never Olajuwon.
No,
Olajuwon was just a freak.
It's a different type of game.
Totally different. But I feel like Olajuwon could have done anything he wanted.
Seemed like it.
Like nowadays, maybe they wouldn't make him a center. Now they would have, because he could
make him a power forward.
He could put the ball on the floor. He could shoot. I mean, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you said go out and learn how to shoot threes, he could probably drop them.
I've seen it in NBA Jam.
I've done it myself in 93, 94 NBA. So that's the first round. Trevor Price goes to the Broncos that round, who was a pretty good player. I figured I'd throw that one in there for you. Second round, still more good players. Tiki Barber goes to the Giants there in the second round. Jamie Sharper to the Ravens at number 34.
All right.
So he's
the first Sharper drafted.
He's the first Sharper drafted, and he's going to at the beginning of that Ravens defense that in 3 years is going to be one of the top 5 of all time. A lot of people like that going. Jake Plummer goes to the Cardinals there. Corey Dillon is a damn good running back for till like 2 years ago,
Did
I
he
think.
Get drafted by the Patriots?
Oh, the Bengals. He played for the Bengals forever, Corey Dillon.
I don't remember that.
Sam Madison of the Dolphins, that sort of thing here. It's, as you can tell, as you get into the draft, the names get lower. Yeah. Number 60 overall, last pick in the second round, the Green Bay Packers select Darren Sharper out of William and Mary. So he's a second round draft pick, and he's going to the Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
So you're drafted last in the first round, you go to the Super Bowl champion, which is
cool.
Kind of cool. Yeah. Harder to start probably, but shit, you're going to go on a good team. Not going and playing for some shit organization.
No doubt.
Which is nice. You don't have to go play for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Which no one wants that. Oh, no, thank you. Not the Cardinals. I wanted to play football for a good team.
I thought you said the St. Louis Cardinals.
Football Cardinals. No. St. Louis is a great organization. Arizona, they're terrible. No, thank you.
I would rather not.
No, thank you. No. I'm going to sell insurance. Yes. I've decided. So 97 here. He's in Green Bay, and this is the Super Bowl champion Brett Favre, Dorsey Levens, Antonio Freeman, the Don Beebe was there. That team.
Shannon Sharp's brother Sterling was there.
Sterling was gone by then.
Was he?
Sterling was already injured and out by then.
The second,
Sterling was gone. I want to say 94 or 95.
No.
Yeah. He started 96.
He didn't get a ring in that.
He did not get the ring.
Really?
No, he went out early because that first year, Favre fucking rode him like a bronco. That first year, he double covered. Don't care. You're the only receiver I'm throwing to. 100 miles an hour coming at you, Sterling. But he had that stinger. I want to say 94, maybe 95, and then just never came back. He was great, Sterling Sharp.
One of the most fun to watch.
Fucking good.
He was like Carter. He was
a lot like Chris Carter. Yeah. I was going to say he wasn't quite a Jerry Rice. He didn't have that kind of thing, but he was like a Chris Carter. He was so fucking good.
And over the middle, he's doing it all game long. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, he was getting the shit knocked out of him too. Not too bad. We had Dorsey Levens, like I said. This is that team. So Steve Bono is the backup. I forgot about him.
Shit.
Steve Bono, backup quarterback, backing him up. Doug Peterson, who is currently a very highly touted NFL coach.
How about that?
That's a lot of third-string quarterbacks turn into head coaches. See Jason Garrett, Doug Peterson, Gary Kubiak, and
people
fucking
who didn't get beat up.
On and on. And well, all they did was sit with the head coach, going over offensive game plan, looking over plays, calling shit in. Nobody knows the plays as well as the third-string quarterback. They're just too shitty to execute them is the problem. So, that's 97 Green Bay, and they have a good year, 97 Green Bay. They go 13-3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they crush it. They're defending champs. Mike Holmgren was the coach with his walrus mustache, back in those days here. In the first round of the playoffs, they beat the Bucks 21-7.
Yep.
They beat the Niners 23-10.
Yep.
And then, they go to the Super Bowl against the Broncos.
You betcha they
and
did.
Elway finally gets a victory.
He runs himself that helicopter play.
Finally, after those fucking losses, finally.
All my life.
Yeah, that was great to watch, to see that there. Darren plays in 14 games that year, doesn't start any. It's a Super Bowl team you're going to. He gets 2 interceptions, though.
That's great.
He has 2, both interceptions are returned for touchdowns.
How about that?
Which is fucking impressive.
Yeah.
One of them was a 50-yarder.
No kidding.
So not too bad there. That's awesome. Also had a forced fumble, had a fumble recovery, and a fumble recovery return for a touchdown.
As a rookie.
And so he's not even playing that much, but when he's in there, he's got a nose for the end zone. Like he sniffs out the ball. Yep. He's a ball hawk and an end zone guy. He also had 13 tackles, which whatever. He's picking the fucking ball off and he's scoring points. That's what he does. So 97 they lose but he gets to go to the Super Bowl in his rookie year.
That's so cool.
Who gives a shit if you lose
got
at
an
that
NFC
point?
championship ring.
Yeah, you get that,
so rad.
and you get to go to the Super Bowl. Like that's cool. In your rookie year,
Patrick Mahomes doesn't know what that feels like.
No, he does not. He absolutely doesn't. He does not. Unfortunately for him.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees might not remember what the last one. That was probably 7 concussions ago, but. he's not going to know it again either.
Right.
So 1998, the Packers, they go 11-5 that year. Again, a fine year. They were second in the division. They're a wild card team that year. And they lose 30-27 in the wild card game to the Niners. That was that crazy Terrell Owens catch from Jeff Garcia. That crazy one in the end zone right at the goal line where he gets fucking hit. It's how he held on to it. It's what made Terrell Owens, basically. He held on to this ball somehow. I have no fucking idea. He got drilled and bounced off the ground and held on to it for a touchdown and beat the Packers here. Now, everybody really is satisfied with Darren's play. By his second year, he's a starter, and he starts all 16 games. So he plays all 16 and starts all 16, which is fucking nasty.
All of them as defensive back.
All of them as a free safety.
And shit like that.
Free safety. He's returning some punts. Now, another safety of his, a teammate on the Packers, said, quote, he was just really good at being able to read what the receivers and quarterbacks were doing, and he would jump routes. It was just calculated risks. That's always what he was good at. He's good at safety's a perfect position for him. He sits back, and he's good at scoping and seeing what things are.
Spying the quarterback,
spying it, and coming after that ball. And that's the other thing too. He's a good tackler, as you were saying. You were saying he's really good at seeing angles of things, of
his geometry running. Is
exactly. He knows exactly what angles to go at, which is pretty much all of defensive back. If you have the athleticism, then you just have to know angles. You got to be able to cut
a guy off and be able to get to him.
Yeah, I was reading this book and they were talking to Dick Night Train Lane, who's like the 50s Detroit Lions cornerback. He still holds the record for interceptions in a season with 14. Yeah, and he's like fourth all time in picks and shit like that.
From the 50s.
He's a bad motherfucker. His nickname is Night Train. Give me a goddamn break. Night Train Lane, this guy, they're saying he was not like a bright guy at all. You could barely understand him when he talked, but with defensive backs, he would talk about angles, and he was like a fucking like a
genius.
He was like a geometrical genius. Like he was like Einstein of knowing angles of how to cut receivers off and shit like that. And
they call that an idiot savant, right?
That's what he was. Yeah, pretty much. He had a crazy fucking life. He married a jazz singer.
Jesus,
her name Dinah Washington, I think. He married this jazz singer who he was her 8th husband.
What?
It's fucking nuts. And they were married for like 6 months, and she died in his house.
Oh my god!
From all sorts of drug overdose. Like, Jesus, this poor bastard.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she chose the right time to die. Just, I'm going to marry him and then croak.
Holy shit. Can you imagine the heartbreak, though?
Yeah, they were like 40, too. I think she was 39, he was 38 or some crazy shit.
She's been married 8 times?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jesus. She had a crazy life, lots of drugs. She was a 50s jazz singer. I mean, there was a lot of things going on there. And
then just claim you when you're single then.
Oh, Jesus Christ. She was probably...
That's my woman.
That's...
I guess I'm him.
I guess so. Yeah. I'm going to have to stab him if I don't want to be. In the 50s, for Christ's sake. Jesus. So 1999, Packers again, 8-8 this year. Holmgren left. Then Ray Rhodes comes in and does a mediocre job as the head coach there. They do not go to the playoffs at all. Darren, though, starts all 16 games.
Great.
Has a great year, 3 interceptions, top notch there, fumble recovery there, so not too bad. Has a fine year that no one can squawk at. Has 84 solo tackles too, 113 total tackles with the assists, which is fucking awesome for a safety. He's cleaning up the mess back there. That's a lot. That means there's a lot of mess to clean up though. If your free safety's got 113 tackles, you've been letting some shit through.
The early side of your defense is doing terribly.
Yeah, he's tackling backs or receivers who have gone over the top and burned their coverage. So 2000, Mike Sherman comes in as the head coach now. Ray Rhodes got shit canned in a year. They go 9-7 under Sherman. Again, do not make the playoffs this year, but this year Darren is a Pro Bowler and a first team All-Pro.
How about this
as well? Yeah, this is his coming into his own year. I mean, last year he had a great year, but this year it's like
one of the best in the league.
Everybody knows him. Yeah, he's starts all 16 games, has 9 picks.
My Christ.
9 for 109 return yards.
Jesus.
No touchdowns, but still 9 picks is pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
And like I said, goes to the Pro Bowl, has 92 tackles. As good as you can do as a free safety. Now, 2001, the Packers reward him for this Pro Bowl year. Great timing on his part, by the way, because that's when his contract was coming up.
Think you knew that?
So he might have known it was a contract year. But, I mean, that year is his third year in the league. He's just coming into his own.
Sure.
But the Packers sign him to a 6-year 6-year, $30 million contract, including a signing bonus of $7 million.
Jesus.
So here you go, sir. You're all set.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Don't fuck it up.
Don't fuck it up.
Right.
But 6-year, $30 million contract.
Jesus.
Not too goddamn shabby for him. And the Packers have a great year. Also, good for them. They go 12-4 with Mike Sherman as the coach. This year, they're second in the Central, which is tough to go 12-4 and not win your goddamn division.
Yeah.
They win their wild card game against the Niners, and then they lose 45-17 against the Rams. That was the Rams.
Oh, that was the
juggernaut Rams. Yeah, that was the juggernaut Rams offense, and the Packers weren't set up to stop that exactly here. But Darren starts all 16 games, has 6 picks, 78 return yards, has a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, doing fine, 94 tackles.
That's great.
Earning his cash. I mean, he made a big bonus, and I wouldn't think they would be sorry they did that at that moment in time. Yeah, that paid off. Glad he's not on the fucking Vikings doing that to us. Yeah. So I don't know. 2002 Packers here. They go 12-4 again. So they're fucking crushing it. 12-4 again under Mike Sherman. This year they win the division with that, but they lose in the wild card round to the Falcons, 27-7. Now this year Darren again goes to the Pro Bowl. He has he starts all 13 games he plays. He had a little injury that year. He has 7 picks. So last 3 years, 9, 6, and 7, which is amazing.
That's plenty.
Because interceptions, a lot of it is like. The way I always looked at picks is, I don't know, this is just my take on stats. 5 means your first 5 are skill based. Then anything over that is like luck. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like you see a ball tipped out of a receiver's hand. Like last night, there was a couple Brady, tipped like off Edelman's hand, and the guy picked it off, and it's like, well, that's not anything on that guy's. He just happened to be in the right spot. He was just standing there, and the ball fell in his hands from someone else. He wasn't the guy covering him. It's not like Dion who's in coverage. All of his picks. He certainly
wouldn't be playing in that position if he knew the ball was going to Edelman. He'd be right on Edelman.
Exactly. Right. He was over here and it got tipped to him. He's like, holy shit, that's right place, right time.
It's the football.
And some guys happen to just be in the right place, right time more than others, and kind of the ball hawk type guys, but still a lot of picks are. So to me, between 6 and 9 is the same year. Right. That's just 3 tip balls.
Also, if you're a great cornerback or safety or free, the quarterback's not throwing in your direction. No, they are not going to go near you.
Deion Sanders used to cover one side of the field, cover one receiver, lock him the fuck down, and they throw at that guy twice all game. Right. Twice. Or maybe one, and it would be a top-notch receiver. Right. They'd throw at him twice.
Your number 2 and number 3 receiver has a great game a couple times a year because you're not throwing at the number 1 because he's covered by somebody.
It just takes him away. That's it. It's just like, okay, I'll take, Michael Irvin or Jerry Rice or whoever the 90s receiver is. I'm taking him away from you that game, and that's it. So this year, though, Darren, like I said, he's 7 picks, 233 return yards on 7 picks. That's good for 1 touchdown and it was an 89-yard return for a touchdown. So that's awesome. That's a fucking fun play. Yeah, there
sounds exciting.
Hell yeah! So 68 tackles for him. Now, personally, the teammates, everybody's players, his friends, he's described as polite, courteous, and kind. Those are the 3 words used by all people that know him.
What?
Since high school, that's the only words that have ever been used.
Polite, courteous, kind.
Polite, courteous, kind, generous, not arrogant, humble, modest.
Okay.
That's literally what everybody says about him.
He's us.
He's us, but polite and kind. We're courteous. We're courteous, Jimmy, but we're not polite or kind.
That hurt.
We're courteous. No, but that's literally what it was. It was everyone said it about him. It wasn't just like his mom said, if Darren's a nice boy, like everybody fucking said he was a nice guy at the organization. Okay. If they had like if there was like some charity thing where they needed to send someone who wasn't an idiot, who knows not to say the wrong thing.
Want to be the face of the franchise for a day.
You send him.
Right. When there's cameras around, send Darren.
If it's like, fucking kids who are going to die next week and it's like some Make-A-Wish thing and he wants to talk to some Packers, Darren's the one who's not going to go, so how long you got, kid? And he's going to nudge him in the elbow, He's going to have tact and he's going to be kind to the kids and give them his time. And
that's awesome.
He added to his own charity for kids.
No kidding.
Yeah, especially he was very much into women's issues at the time. Oh, yeah. He briefly dated Gabrielle Union, who she's out there, and she's
model actress chick.
Model actress, exactly. Model actress. I don't know what they do.
Got it.
Christy Teigen.
She's
person.
talented.
I don't know. Yeah. People like her.
People view her as talented.
People like her. We'll just say that. Because nowadays it doesn't even matter what you do. Being a likable person is a job now.
It matters.
It's a fucking job now.
It's true.
Yeah. And you can call someone problematic and then
and ruin their life.
By the way, this has nothing to do with Gabrielle Union or Christy Teigen, because they seem like nice people. To be perfectly fucking frank with you, I have no problem with them at all. But Jimmie and I, the two of us together as a group, we're not huge death penalty proponents, as we say. We have very few on small town murder. It's like when someone does something especially hideous, we're like, okay, I figured out two cases where I think we're both on board here, and that is like child murder, like a hideous child murder, and anyone who uses the word problematic to describe comedy in any way, shape, and form. No trial, no fucking appeals, right to the gallows with you. No lethal injection. I want you to fucking swing as an example.
I want to see a blue face.
Yes. When you fucking hung over the wall like Handmaid's Tale, can all fucking look at you. I don't give a fuck.
Problematic comedy.
For a comedian.
Unbelievable.
By the way, why don't comedy clubs, listen to us. We're comedians. Listen to us. We're the last people they'd listen to. Why don't you tell people when they come in? Every comedy club has a little video that runs.
Right.
Have something that runs that goes, hey, dick face, you're in a fucking comedy club. Right. What you're witnessing is allegedly art.
Right.
And this is people think that we have everything so planned out. We know exactly how everyone's going to react to it. And that's what we're going for. Yeah. We're throwing shit against the wall. When you're on stage and you're telling a new joke, you have no idea if they're going to laugh, if they're going to stare at you like an asshole, or throw their drink at you. You have no fucking idea what anyone's going to say.
It's a huge chance.
You're just taking a chance. Right. So why don't they tell? Chances are being taken.
Right.
If anything at all offends you, get the fuck out.
Honestly.
Or else we will fucking lynch you and throw you out.
Because guess who else is taking a chance?
Fuck.
You, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You sitting there with your drink, giggling. Yeah. You're taking a chance that this is funny, too, because we don't know. How the fuck do we know what you think is funny?
People in comedy clubs. Yeah, dude, you're right. People in comedy clubs running out clutching their fucking cardigans are the same people who in the 50s went to a fucking art gallery and ran out and said, oh my God, there's a tit, and called the local fucking the police, and they had trials. Oh, it's the same. You're the same fucking people.
Horrible.
You think you're not, but you are. You're the same fucking people. So stop it with comedy.
Knock it the fuck off.
Politicians or whatever, have at it.
Tear them limb from limb.
They're supposed to say the right thing. We're trying to say funny shit. So anyway, Gabrielle Union here apparently is, in addition to being an actress and model, she is also a rape survivor who has become a big advocate for that sort of thing. Yeah. So good for her. And he apparently took a big interest in that. And also, while he dated her, and that was always one of his issues, was violence against women and just general things like that. And for an NFL player, that's a big deal. They should have more of those guys. Maybe if a lot of them would do that, maybe then the other guys in the locker room would feel like assholes if they get arrested for beating up their wives. And maybe they wouldn't beat their fucking wives up because they'd feel weird going to work. Maybe then that would work. I don't fucking know.
And so they come to work and nobody says the goddamn thing.
It's like, that's all good. Fuck it. Whatever. He runs really fast. You don't understand. So
put those numbers up.
Fuck. So Darren also raised money for breast cancer. He was a big proponent of breast cancer awareness and money raising there. The NFL, like we said, very much embraced him as a spokesperson for the league, as a guy. He's a handsome, well-spoken, tall, just a guy you'd see start talking and you go, I'd like to hear what he has to say. Just a guy, very, very good spokesperson, we'll say, and is exactly what they want as for a league. And he was selected by the NFL to appear in a book the NFL put out, and this is I fucking hate the NFL. I love football, but Jesus Christ, every time a new league sprouts up, I don't care if it's 12 people playing in a parking lot. I hope it overtakes the NFL because I hate the fucking NFL. NFL and all they stand for.
Their
pandering
policies, that shit.
They're so pandering while none of that shit they actually believe in. No. They're so full of shit, that league.
Even their sponsors do the same shit. It's all just
we're a beer company concerned about safety.
Right.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Shut up.
You're concerned about bottom line.
Yeah,
That's
you're concerned about selling booze to people who are sad. That's what you're concerned about. When people get sad, then they buy booze from you.
Right.
That's what
you get excited when somebody in a movie or a TV show says, "I need a drink."
Yeah,
that's you're damn right you do.
Spread that.
Make
Tell
that
everyone.
a Budweiser.
No shit.
Fucking jerk.
They had a book, NFL Dads Dedicated to Daughters, designed to raise awareness of battered women.
Yeah.
That was the point. And in the book, there's in the photo, it's him fucking with his arm around his daughter and all that sort of thing. He said in the book, he said, quote, "My daughter makes me mindful of how women are treated, undervalued and exploited, which is why I feel compelled to take advantage of this opportunity to speak up about domestic violence."
Okay.
So good.
Yeah.
That's fine. Got no problem with that. Good for you. Mm-hmm. That's nice there. He always was guarded about his personal life. Was what everybody said around him. Everybody said he's very tight with his family.
Yeah.
Mom, dad, sister, brother. Jamie, very tight, especially Jamie, because obviously they have a lot in common. Yeah. They're less than a year apart, and they play they do the same thing for a living. So obviously,
in the NFL, where there's like
it's a small fraternity,
right?
There's not a lot of guys.
No,
and if your brother's one of them,
it's pretty amazing.
You're going to talk about it.
You're going to be pals.
Isn't this guy an asshole? Right. Totally. Right. What a dick. I played against him. Total asshole. So they said he doesn't have a lot of close friends. Yeah. Is the thing. Darren never had a lot. It's a very it's weird. Like he has a very kind of closed off personal life. Yeah. Doesn't really share it a lot with the team. Yeah. Kind of like Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
But he's not like hanging out with gangsters on the side. He's just hanging out with his family, laying low, not doing very much.
Darren doesn't have bloods written across his neck.
He does not. No, Darren is not a gangster at all. That's what I mean. He's a very straight-laced. He's Mr. Spokesman of the NFL. Just what you want here.
And he's quiet.
And he's a quiet guy. The whole deal. He tweeted at one point. This is not in 2002, obviously, but at one point he tweeted, quote, "Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those be well tried before you give them your confidence," which is good advice. Yeah. I follow that advice a lot. Yeah. We'll see if he follows that advice in his own life. 2003, the Packers go 10-6 with him on the team. They win the wild card game against the Seahawks and then lose to the Eagles in the second round. I believe that's the year the Eagles went and lost. Okay. Was that the year McNabb was all
what year was it?
Sick. 2003.
Okay.
I can't fucking remember.
That have been against the Colts in the Super Bowl?
No. The Patriots would have beat them. Yeah, it would have been the Patriots beating them.
Of course it's the Patriots.
Of course it's the Patriots. So, yeah. Joyless cocksuckers. Let's watch the Patriots win because they look like they're having fun.
Right. Except for that quarterback of theirs who seems to be pissed on every play, especially when they get touchdowns.
They get a touchdown. He's like, "You motherfucker."
Yeah,
it's
he's furious.
But he's not even like angry, like fun furious.
No.
They have you know what that team lacks? Any sort of characters at all. They have not one. I like how Belichick just likes no characters, which is odd because he came up like with the Giants defense of the 80s that had fucking LT, who's the biggest character and greatest fucking player in the league. It's very odd. Anyway, moving on from our Patra hate. Yeah. 2003, Darren plays in 15 games, starts all 15, has 5 picks, not too bad. 78 return yards, a long of 50 that year on a return. Yeah. He has 2 forced fumbles. Again, that's pretty fucking impressive. 82 tackles.
Great.
He's just a solid son of a bitch, man. Just getting it done. 2004 Packers go 10-6 again. This is just a 10-6 team every single year. They lose the wild card game to the Vikings, which must have killed them. Yeah. Because you know how they are with them. Yep. Packers and Vikings are like, what is it?
It's like the Packers and Lions. Like the Packers and...
what are the birds that fight? What are the birds?
Cockfights?
Owls and... There's a bird that if they see owls, they attack them.
Really?
I can't remember. Is it crows? It might be a crow and an owl. I think maybe I can't remember. There's certain birds where if they see each other, they just attack each other. It's some weird nature thing.
Why are we told to put owl models on our air conditioner unit to keep birds away? Because I feel like that would just attack.
Most
invite
birds.
That attack bird.
I feel like this is like they have like a beef with them. This is like their like rival gang.
This is like the Bloods and
this
the
is their Montagues and the fucking Capulets of the owl world.
Well, that seems dangerous to put that on your fucking air conditioner unit here. It seems like that other bird would beat the shit out of your AC.
Well, he won't peck you though. He'll be distracted.
Got it.
So he'll stay away from you and your cats and things like that.
He'll just be beating the shit out of your model owl.
Just whooping its ass. So 97 they lose to the Vikings. Darren plays 15 games, starts 13, has 4 picks, 2 touchdown returns, by the way, that year. And he also has 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, and a touchdown from a fumble recovery. So he is on point, has 3 touchdowns that year, which is great for a defensive back. Now his contract is up with the Packers. They cut him in 2004 in the beginning of the season for salary cap reasons. And then they cut him, but then signed him to a lesser deal. So then, but it's a 1-year deal.
Right.
And 2005, he's a free agent, and the Vikings take advantage of that. The Vikings, who, you play against a guy twice a year. That's why you see a lot of interdivisional signings, like when the guys are free agents, because they know the guy.
Right.
They have film on him. They play him twice a year.
All the time.
They know the guy. Yeah, it's like, oh, shit. If he's been in the league 4 years. We played him 8 times. We know this fucking guy. Let's grab him.
Romanowski went to the Raiders.
Yeah, it's there's no surprises. You know exactly what you're getting. And plus, you always want the guy who's kicking your ass.
Right.
It's I want that guy bad.
Certainly.
When the Yankees finally got Roger Clemens, I was like, yes, good, finally, fuck you. Take that, Red Sox and Blue Jays. Eat dicks, both of you. It's about goddamn time.
A lot of you. Enjoy it.
So they signed him to a 4-year, $10.6 million contract that includes a $4 million bonus.
That's a good deal.
So he's made some dough. He's making his dough. As he entered training camp, he was already starting free safety coming in. He's the big free agent acquisition, new big man in town. So shit, man. Coach Mike Tice, remember him?
I don't. I remember the name, but I don't know what he looks like.
He's a big goofy looking guy.
Who else did he coach?
He's still like a line coach for somebody, or tight ends coach. He's a former tight end for the Vikings for years and years. Right. Coached the Vikings out of nowhere. They promoted him to head coach. Did a terrible job.
Sure.
And then he just coaches lines, and he's an assistant now.
How about that? You fucking do terribly at your job, and you get given another job
as less responsibility.
Sure. Yeah, and a little less money.
And
but
less
you still get a job.
Oh, you get a job,
a high-paying job.
This is a fraternity.
Right.
All these guys. That's the thing. Because Mike Tice, he played with this guy who's a coach over here, and he coached under this one. So he gives this guy a call, and he helps him out, and it's all a big fucking.
I have a
circle
theory
jerk method.
that
big circle jerk.
I have a theory that fucking cocksucker from the Patriots that ruined Denver for 5 years. I feel like that was a fucking
Josh
conspiracy.
McDaniels. Yeah,
I think he did it on purpose.
I'm sure he did.
I really do.
Yeah,
I really think that was dickhead Bill's whole fucking plan the whole time.
It was a Vince Russo to WCW situation. You don't know what I'm talking about, but there's a few people out there that do. Jason Fuller, that one's for you. It's a Russo to WCW situation.
I see it.
And they planted him in there.
Bastard.
Destroy that organization from the inside out.
And whatever they pay you, we're going to match it.
Like a swarm of locusts. Just eat it.
And I guarantee we beat them for the next 6 years.
We'll do it.
We did.
Like a drum.
You dicks.
Yeah, well, they beat them the previous 6 years, too, so it doesn't matter.
Made them much worse.
That's a fact. So 2005 there, like we said, he's a Viking. Tice, names him the starter. It's him and Corey Shavis are going to be the starters in the defensive backfield. Remember him from the Cardinals, too. This is the Dante Culpepper Vikings. Brad Johnson was also there. Culpepper?
Yeah, I liked him.
His first couple of years, he was a beast, man. He had an arm.
So big.
He was an offensive lineman that threw the ball 70 yards down the field.
Insane.
And when he got running, it was dangerous.
Was he 6'6" or something?
He was 6'6", and he was like 270.
Yeah.
He was a monster. Back in the day, he would have been the biggest defensive lineman on the team if he played in the 70s, and now he's a quarterback. That's bonkers. Yeah, good luck tackling that fucking guy. You better bring you better bring a head of steam with you. Really get running at him.
Bring a friend.
Yeah, bring a friend. Come on, man. You take the top, I'll take the bottom. But that's that team. Brad Johnson was the backup quarterback. Corin Robinson on that squad and shit like that. Nate Burleson. Remember that whole Viking squad? Yeah, not bad. Yeah. November 2005, he's Darren's the NFC Defensive Player of the Month.
No kidding.
So not too shabby there. The Vikings go 9-7 that year and do not make the playoffs, though, unfortunately for them. Darren, though, starts all 14 games he plays, has 9 picks again, 9 interceptions for a career high and league high this year also, 276 return yards.
League high,
and then and also two defensive interception return for touchdowns.
Wow,
which is also high in the league, tied for league that year. And then his longest return for a touchdown off of interception that year was 92 yards. So that's, you got to have some game to break a 92-yarder. That's pretty fun. And also had a fumble recovery, so not too shabby.
Yeah.
He's doing well. After the 2005 season, his brother Jimmie retires.
Really?
So his brother, he played linebacker, so that's a much more physically demanding position. Safety, half the plays, you're just kind of running around.
Still 8 years in the NFL. That's pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, safety, there's a lot of big hits, but literally more than half the plays as a free safety. The strong safety comes up a lot and plays a run in a lot of teams, but free safety, you're playing center field a lot. Yeah. So that's better. Not as much contact. Yeah. Which is better for your career.
Longevity.
Free safeties play a long fucking time. They good ones, really good ones. I mean, they usually have 12 concussions, but they still play.
Steve Atwater.
They get out there. I was going to say Atwater and Dennis Smith before him played for fucking ever. He was great too. These are old Bronco defensive backs, if you don't know.
It's the only ones I know.
But I know them all, luckily for you, or else this would be a one-sided conversation. I'm saying shit you don't understand. You're saying shit I don't understand. It's better this way. So Jimmie ended up playing in 136 games with Baltimore, Houston, and Seattle. Started 135 of them at linebacker, so he was a goddamn force. He led the NFL in tackles in 2003 with 164, 859 career tackles, 2 career picks. He's a monster. Real good player, Darren Sharper. Really, really good player. And part of that huge Baltimore defense. I mean, you can't say enough about that. Anybody who could make that team on defense is good, is nasty. 2006, Darren is still a Viking. They go 6-10 that year and stink under Brad Childress.
Yes.
They were terrible.
Brad Childress is a bad coach.
He's a bad coach.
He is
not a good coach.
No.
And they really tried for a while.
Oh, boy, did they.
No, he's going to get it.
They pushed him like Dallas thinks Jason Garrett's decent.
He's the Same Jason thing. Garrett of it. That's absolutely. So funny. That's exactly perfectly apt there.
So disgusting.
Because they had Tice before it, who was a reach also, and he sucked, and they're like, let's give it to this guy.
I know what he looks like now. I see Tice perfectly.
Short hair, tall guy, NFL.
He looked like a dummy.
He looks like a big dummy, exactly. So this year, though, 6-10 under Childress, who stinks, like we said.
looking like a child molester with that dumb push broom mustache.
Looking all pedo-y.
Yeah.
All pedoed out.
Creepy as fuck.
He fucking does. Jesus, that's a good point.
He's passable as a normal human being as he has an NFL coach.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So, but yeah, he's kind of got like a big Easter Island head on him, too. He's a weird
looking man.
He is weird, but his head looks too small for his body at the same time. It's very strange. So Sharper, by the way, last year, 2005, he was a Pro Bowler also. So he made the Pro Bowler again. He's a Pro Bowler again. 2006, he starts all 16 games, has 4 interceptions again. So since 2000, since the year 2000, he's never had less than 4 picks in a season.
Incredible.
Which is incredible. He's had 9 twice. Yeah. So that's pretty fucking good here. Also a forced fumble that year, 67 tackles. Not too bad. 2007, Vikings again, Brad Childress again. Surprise, they're very mediocre again. Shocked, aren't you, Jimmie? I know, calm down. Wait a second. Get up. Hold on. We got to take a break while Jimmie gets up off the floor. He fell right out of his chair when he heard that. He said, Brad Childress didn't go to the Super Bowl? What? Jesus Christ.
How is he not?
8-8 that year for the Vikings. Darren, though, starts all 16 games, has 4 interceptions again, 61 return yards, including a 41-yard touchdown return. So not too bad there at all. 1 forced fumble also. Darren is he's very consistent. He's never shitty. Like, he's not in his prime athletically now, obviously, but he's still crafty enough to do this.
He's contributing like crazy.
Absolutely. 63 tackles, and he's a hard hitter, like we say, too. So his tackles count.
Yeah.
He's back there people hear his footsteps, they worry about him.
They make a decision based on whether or not he's around.
He's one of those safeties.
Yeah.
Now, 2008, he is elected to the William and Mary Sports Hall of Fame.
How about this?
So he's going to his college's Hall of Fame.
Amazing.
Which is, that's got to be an honor right there. He told the audience he came to William and Mary for the academics and for the beauty of the school and the grounds.
Okay.
So he's, he knows how to not be an asshole.
Right.
He didn't just go there and be like, man, all the chicks had big tits here.
Right.
Like he was, I came here for the academics and the beauty of the grounds.
Right.
It's wonderful.
The architecture really just spoke to me.
It's the large, the oaks, the oaks. It's, I sit under them and I pray for an acorn to fall in my lap.
Tower? Did you see it?
Have you seen it? I sit here with Doc Brown and we discuss physics.
Yeah.
That's William and Mary to me.
Right.
To me. So, yes. 2008 Vikings, they go 10-6 for the love of Christ. They win the division.
Oh boy.
Holy shit balls. They go to the playoffs and lose to the Eagles in the first round.
Of course.
So there's that. So, good for you, Vikings. Fuck, man. Doesn't quite work out. No. Darren, though, plays in all 16 games, starts them all, only has one pick this year, which is strange for him. Yeah. 2 fumble recoveries, which, that's good, I suppose, but, only 2 picks, only 1 pick. 69 tackles as well, so he's still in the mix. He's still playing a lot, and that's, safety's a lot of tip balls.
Yeah.
It's
also, you have numbers like that
luck.
at the beginning. People start to just keep the ball away from you.
That's the other thing, too. Everybody's aware of him, and he's slowing down a little bit.
That's a good point, too.
It happens.
Yeah.
So 2009, he's done with the Vikings. He plays out his contract. That's the 4th year. Now, March of 2009, the Saints sign him to a free agent deal.
Yeah.
It's a 1-year deal worth $1.20 million.
Not great, but it's fine.
Not great. They want to see, because he's had 1 pick. So if you look at his stats, you go, ooh, did he fall off a cliff?
Right.
So you give him 1 year and you see if he's, he's done or if he just had an off year.
Right.
Who knows? Guys, you never know. Maybe he might have had a little sore calf all year. It's weird. Guys have little injuries and just the balls don't bounce for you. Whatever.
Toss him $1 million and cover the tax, and let's see how he does.
That's it, man. So he ends up in training camp. He's not an automatic starter. He has to compete for a starting job, so they don't just throw a job at him. Sean Payton names him the starting free safety, though, to begin the season here. So he ends up doing that. In October 2009, he is the NFC Defensive Player of the Month.
Yeah.
So he rewards their faith in him, I would say. 2009, magical season for all involved here.
Amazing.
This is amazing. 13-3. The Saints are.
Right.
They beat the shit out of the Cardinals in the playoffs, 45-14. Thumped them good. They beat the Vikings 31-28. So just squeaked it out against his old team there. And then finally they go to the Super Bowl and they beat the Colts.
They did.
31-17.
Yeah, and that was the one that Peyton Manning threw an interception. He threw a game-winning touchdown to the Saints.
Yep, to ice it. That was the one.
That's what his dad always wanted to see. You got to see it, Archie.
Sorry, Arch. Not quite the way you wanted it, but it happens. Yeah, that Super Bowl was like boring in the first half, and then I saw it was 17-16 Colts going into the fourth quarter, and then it was 15 unanswered points by the Saints there.
It was a manhandling.
Yeah, the Peyton Manning icing on the cake. 2009 season. This season is like, I don't know what youth pills he took or whatever, but holy shit was he in form this year.
Yeah.
Started all 14 games he played in, had 9 picks again, which, I mean, Jesus Christ, that's like he's a kid again.
Twilight.
Yeah, and he's 34 years old playing defensive back, had 9 picks, which led the league, 376 return yards for these 9 picks, which also led the league. And then he also led the league with 3 returns for touchdowns on these interceptions, including a 99-yarder. Which is
from the goal line.
It's fucking awesome. That's great. Stole it away in the red zone and took it back for yourself.
All the way the other way.
71 tackles also. Just a stellar year.
Yeah.
He's a Pro Bowler again. First team All-Pro.
Yeah.
Every accolade you could have here. And this was the team. This was there was Bountygate on here. There was a lot of shit going on. There was also apparently players were stealing Vicodins from the team's medical supply that season. There was a big scandal internally over that of who's stealing the fucking Vicodins. And
that makes sense.
Yeah, I would imagine. Football players with pain pills. Gee, why would they want pain pills? Oh, I don't know, because everything hurts.
Especially a team that has Bountygate going on. Yeah. Where the harder you hit, the more money you make.
That's true. But you know what? What's funny is like Bountygate is every team that's ever happened. They all do bounties all the time. Right. It's all since the beginning of time in football. They were just the only people who ever talked about it and got caught for it. It's one of those things that's like the players are like, that's how football. And what else do you got?
We're making money. This is our game.
But he was one of the a Saint front office guy, a front office member of the Saints here, said that Darren was one of the good guys. He said, quote, "He was a perfect gentleman. He was an older player. He never gave us any trouble whatsoever." So all of that, none of it involved Darren as far as like, stealing Vicodins or any of that shit. He was a perfect gentleman.
To our knowledge.
Right. So right now he's a Super Bowl champion, first team All Pro. He's a Pro Bowl player, leading the league in picks, yards returned from picks, touchdowns from picks. His football career is at the peak it could possibly be. Also, there's a blog. There's a blog at the time that talked about famous guys' sexual prowesses. It was called Kiss and Tail. And it was a T-A-L-E.
Like
tail.
Got it.
Tell your tale of kissing, I guess.
I like tail better, T-A-I-L.
That would have been better, kiss and tail. So, apparently, this here had, the Darren Sharper segment of it had more than 5,000 comments about his sexual abilities.
Really?
So he gets the fuck around. We'll put it that way. There's, one of the comments here, said, and this is all capital letters, Darren Sharper is the hottest, sexiest, finest, most beautiful man I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
This is kind of your typical what everyone was saying about him. So couldn't be any better. Grace.
Yeah.
Grace. It doesn't get any better than this.
He's living the life.
Unless he was about to board a rocket ship to be the first manned people to go to Mars, you couldn't get any better of a life than this. Yeah. Like, he's got everything going for him. It's got to be Grace. 2010, though, he's got one more year of football left.
Okay.
The Saints go 11-5, defending their Super Bowl title and losing in the wild card round to the Seahawks.
How tough is that
year? That's tough. That's a tough one.
I think the Seahawks won the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah, they were really good. They were good. So
that defense was
2010 here. They lost. What are you going to do here? It happens. He plays only in 8 games this year.
Okay.
Only starts one of them. Has no interceptions. Only 1 fumble recovery. Only 16 tackles. Okay. So he's just not a factor this year at all.
Got it.
That's the end of his career. He's injured in a game, and that's what ends it for him.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that also because is
it a leg?
That'll be in court. That's a court problem there. So for his career, he starts 182 games out of the 205 he played in, 63 career interceptions, which is high on the list, 1,412 return yards, which again is high, 11 touchdowns returned for 11 interceptions returned for touchdowns, which is fucking awesome. 8 fumble recoveries, pretty goddamn good. 2 touchdowns there. Good stuff here. He is named to the NFL's 2000s, 2000 and 2010 all-decade team.
Wow.
Then the NFL names him to that. He finishes his career. He's sixth on the all-time list in interceptions, and 13 defensive touchdowns total are tied for the most all-time.
Really?
Yes, that's tied for the most all-time when he retires.
Who's he tied with?
I don't remember. Okay. I can't remember now. Yeah, I looked it up now, and I'm half asleep in my brain. Did not work. So
Darren Sharper, that's who he's tied with.
That is an impressive career. Let's just say that. That's goddamn impressive.
I'd love it.
Yeah, I would say he made a ton of money. He played for, way more than most people get to play in the league. He played for, 14 years or something. I won a Super Bowl.
Right.
His rookie year and the year before, his last year, he got to go to the Super Bowl and got to win it.
Played in 2. That's so cool.
I got to win it at the end. How great. And especially for New Orleans in 2009. That was a huge deal.
After the hurricane
and like New Orleans. Plus, that was the first time they were even close to being any good, New Orleans. Before that, I mean, Christ, it took them 30 years to win a playoff game in that organization. Like, it was so shitty for them.
That was fun to watch too, I think.
Yeah, it was good.
It felt
It was
good.
hard not to root for them.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees is a guy you kind of got to root for,
Right.
and is, because he seems like not a complete tool.
Right.
He looks like there's some joy in him anyway.
Except for that shit on his face.
I don't know what the fuck
I
that
can't tell
is.
if that birthmark he's had removed
I don't
and then
know.
it came back.
I grew
what
back.
What the fuck? He is cursed.
That's possible.
Did some voodoo doctor in fucking New Orleans put a curse on his face?
Either that or it's like a leech scar from
It's like a shit
some
stain.
backwoods leeching from
It's
as a
so
child.
bad.
He's got the scarlet fever. Leech him.
Can't put that guy in a chunky soup
He's got the
commercial.
fever.
Looks like he's got some of the chunky soup on his face.
Turn him to the left.
Right.
No, Drew, you know which side's your good side. The one without the shit on it. That's your good side, Drew. It's pretty fucking clear.
Then he gets some.
Do I need to tell you which side to face to the camera, Drew, really? Which side do you think we want facing
I
towards
feel
the
like
camera?
he had some ads where he had like stitches in his face too.
Did
like
he?
after it was taken out, like it was removed.
Oh, I don't remember
It was
that.
certainly removed.
I don't
And now it
remember
is
any.
back.
Wow, we gotta
It is
talk to
definitely back.
Somebody out there.
I don't know what
Everybody, if you have any access to Drew Brees, find this out for us, because we are
Why is it back, Drew?
fucking
That's
curious.
so weird.
So after retirement here, it's a different life for him, obviously, but he still can live like a... He's living he's not like, didn't have to leave the league because he doesn't remember his name.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shit like that. He played a long time. The NFL likes him. He's a spokesman. He's he's the type of guy who's going to get some kind of job afterwards. He's not going to sit around.
Speak at the rookie symposium.
He's
all
going
that
to do
stuff.
all that shit.
Yeah.
He's also he gets a job with the NFL Network,
Of course.
pretty much immediately.
Right
he
now.
gets a job with because I mean, like I said, good looking, well spoken dude who knows his football.
There you go.
Hired, done. And I'll tell you how much he makes with them either, because I'm always curious what they pay those guys.
That is a fascinating fact.
And I was like, ooh, that's what he pays.
Because they have great clothes.
Yeah, he makes $250,000 a year with the NFL Network.
That's great.
That's what they pay him.
That's a good
to
deal.
go on there and talk about football.
To go yammer once a week.
It's not even like it's not a 9-to-5 job.
No.
It's like a couple times a week he has to go in the studio and bullshit.
It's a party.
Not too
and then
shabby.
if you're working on Thanksgiving, your family still gets to see you.
$250,000 a year.
I'm in.
It's a sweet gig.
I love it.
Room to do other shit on the side.
Fantastic.
Not too bad. Problem is he's also a huge gambler.
Really?
He loves to gamble.
Oh.
He loves to gamble. And this,
I like this.
This comes out after his retirement, but if you're a gambler, you've been gambling the whole time.
It's been a while.
He's a
Yeah.
fucking gambler.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys in sports like to gamble because they have a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And they're guys that are adrenaline junkies.
Sure.
They like to go out and hit hard, and that's gamble. You need things that give you rushes. They need that shit, even if they don't need the money.
Bountygate was essentially gambling.
That was
That's
gambling.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
It wasn't amounts of money that mattered even that much to them.
It didn't change anybody's life.
No, exactly.
$500-$600 a year, $800 a year.
Yeah, it was
silly money.
It was exactly. It was mainly just motivational monopoly money to them. So he's a huge gambler. He would wager as much as $25,000 a week. Doing offshore betting.
Offshore?
Doing
Holy
offshore
shit.
betting. Yeah, that's how he would do it. His friend here, a friend of his, said that he needed the money.
Really?
At this point, he said that his retirement from the NFL, his salary dropped from over $1 million to a few $100,000 a year, which isn't exactly like, oh, how's he going to survive?
Right.
But it's
not Playboy money.
No, I could see it's you're definitely you're going to have to adjust your lifestyle.
Right.
But I mean, if you're making $1.5 million a year, you shouldn't be like living up to that, like paycheck to paycheck.
Right, that's
probably
crazy.
You should probably live like you make $300,000 a year, because what more could you want?
Don't Wolf of Wall Street this shit.
Yeah,
you
that's what I
weirdo.
mean. What are you doing here? But no, he likes to live a certain kind of lifestyle.
Okay.
Also, his friend said at this point, Sharper used to fly his friends on vacations to Europe and the Caribbean.
Oh, Christ.
He'd take people, he'd entourage the situation and pay for everybody back in the day. But he said now, once he retired, like Darren wanted to split checks with everybody. Even like he was like, no, we'll split the check. Like he wasn't even picking up the tab anymore.
Not even letting people. Wow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty inspiring.
That's not too shabby after that career.
You should have been doing that earlier, man.
Yeah, now you could splurge all you want, but he was fucking off earlier. His friend said that Darren saw gambling as a way to try to maintain his nightclub lifestyle.
That is crazy.
Gambling is not an income source.
No.
Sports there's like there's a few people that it is that are professional card players.
Games.
Very few professional gamblers that make a living and do well. Most of these people don't, though. Most of them just lose their houses and then
it takes so
move
much
in with
time.
their moms.
Guys that have that as an income, they are there.
That's all they're doing.
All day.
All day, all night.
It's their 9 to 5.
Oh, it is.
And they're there that many hours or more.
They're not just like looking at the lines on Saturday morning going, all right, what's tomorrow's games? What we got? Denver 3? I guess I'll take Denver. That's not what they're doing.
No,
they're analyzing all the fucking, it's crazy.
And
Those
they're
guys are nuts.
parlaying that win into another win
That's
into
the
another.
other thing.
It's got to be 8 wins in the weekend for you to make any goddamn money.
Yep, it's a totally different life. It's not you just betting on a game with your friend. This is a totally different.
One loss and you lose it all.
Yeah, this guy's like a professional gambler who's got other shit going on here. Now, this is when shit starts to tumble a little bit for him. A few years go by, we will say here, and we're going to go back and forth on timeline a little bit, and I'll take you back and I'll take you forth here. Let's jump ahead to January 2014. This is when the USA Today, which is a fucking given out, paper that's everywhere. It's like, you can pick it up free at a hotel.
It's in every state.
It's in everywhere at USA Today. They report that the New Orleans Police Department is investigating a sexual assault allegation against Sharper, which was filed in September of 2013. Okay. Officials here in the Orleans Parish in Louisiana filed 2 charges of aggravated rape against Sharper. Once again, those words sound bad together.
Too bad.
Rape sounds terrible in anything, but friendly rape sounds bad.
Yeah.
But aggravated rape sounds really bad.
Role play rape sounds terrible.
Terrible.
I'm out.
Awful.
No.
Aggravated rape sounds
holy shit.
Like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
So aggravated rape against Sharper and another 2 counts against, and we can take these guys into consideration here, against a guy named Eric Nunez, who is a steakhouse waiter and kind of part of his fucking entourage of dipshits. Yeah. He's got guys who do things for him and getters and finders and things like that.
No.
Yeah. He's got dudes that place bets for him. He's got dudes that get things for him that we'll talk about here.
Oh boy.
He's got a whole thing going on.
Oh my god.
He's got a whole nightlife that nobody knows about. Like he needed to occupy his time with like the NFL, and have shit to do
to
and like
from doing this shit.
Learn playbooks and shit to not have so much time. This Eric Nunez here, they filed accounts against that guy. This is, like we said, a September 2013 incident. Investigators said to the paper that a second woman came forward with a complaint following the initial report, after which was filed 2 days after the alleged rape. Okay. Now, what happened that day? Let's find out here. Let's go back to February 2013, and we'll work our way up to that and then beyond. Okay. February 2013, Sharper and his friend Brandon Liccardi. Brandon Liccardi is a sheriff. He's a deputy sheriff. Okay. He's a fucking cop, this guy. He works with the St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Office. Okay. So this guy's a goddamn cop.
Bunch of guys with barrels of rum around their neck.
I picture no sideburns.
Okay.
What's just up past his ears, just cut off. Louisiana Sheriff's Office boy. Oh man, he's going to have a fucking no sideburns. I don't even know. I picture a very white guy with no sideburns. That's what I picture. So they're hanging out. They are buddies, and at this point, they're working kind of as a team. We'll say an interesting team of what they do. Let's put it this way here. I'll tell you what they do as a team. Let's describe this. February 2013, there was a woman working as a model. Now, I'm not going to use any of these women's names.
Thank you.
A couple of them have come out anyway. Like, not they've come out, but their names have come out, but it doesn't we don't need to use them. Okay. So, this first woman, here, she is working as a model for the sponsor of a Super Bowl party at a place in the French Quarter in New Orleans. This is the Super Bowl is
like a Bud Light girl.
Yeah, and it's like Super Bowl week in New Orleans. The Super Bowl's down there. While she's at this party, she meets Brandon Liccardi. Okay. Now this model, she drank alcoholic beverages at this party, and what she doesn't know though is that things are being put in her drink that are unknown to her.
Oh boy.
She remembers having an alcoholic drink in her hand at the party, but remembers nothing else except later being in a shower with a person she later identified as Brandon Liccardi.
Oh Jesus.
That's the next thing that she knows. Now, also, Sharper was there too. Darren was also there, and she says he attempted to have sex with her, but did not. She says that Sharper was aware that this woman had been drugged by Liccardi with the intent to therefore have sexual relations with her.
Right.
Their little cocktail is some ecstasy, some Xanax, and some Valium in a booze drink, and they have it down to a science of how much to give them to knock them out and all that shit. It's fucking crazy, this shit. This is some creepy shit, man. This woman next remembers waking up naked in a bed with Darren Sharper. She said she knew immediately that she had intercourse at some point during the evening. Yeah. She says she did not knowingly consent to have sex with anybody. She said she found her clothes in the bathroom and left the condo, which was later identified as Darren Sharper's condo in New Orleans. When she reached the street, she called a friend of hers who came and picked her up. At that point, she told this friend that she didn't know what happened, but that she may have been drugged. Now, cell phone site information was obtained, and it shows that the morning that she says she was raped, the phones of Darren and Liccardi were both at the same location of the party at 2:30, and then were together at the location of Darren Sharper's condo between 3:15 and 6 o'clock in the morning.
Vile.
So they were there. They're placing everybody there. So, there's another woman, and this is the woman in September of 2013. Okay. This is, September 22nd, 2013. This is, victim number 2 here. She goes to a Saints game. Now afterwards, she goes out to a dinner with her friends, and then to the warehouse district of New Orleans, where she met some other friends. They end up at a bar where there was an after game party going on. Then the after game party is players and people like that. So near the Darren Sharper's condo is very near this establishment. Yeah. It's in the same area. So while this after party's going on, some Saints football players were there, and also Sharper and also Liccardi. Okay. So look out here. Now, this woman here, she was a friend of Liccardi at the time. Again, another friend of this guy. And she knew him to be a friend of Sharper, but she never met Sharper. Okay. But she wanted to meet Sharper because, he's
Darren Sharper.
He's a Super Bowl champ. Yeah, everybody there likes him.
Darren Sharper.
He's a well-liked dude in New Orleans. And nobody knows what he's doing and shit like that. So she began talking to Liccardi, and he introduced her to Darren. Yeah. So she was not intoxicated at the time at all. Liccardi then introduced her to Darren. So, basically to say, here's somebody we can drug and have sex with. Right. That was basically what he was doing. Turns out her and Liccardi and Sharper and several other people, they ended up leaving and going to another club called Republic, but it was closed. So then Sharper drove her and Liccardi to a club called Jack's, which is a club in the French Quarter. And while they're there, Sharper put ecstasy in her drink without her knowing it. Basically, to then take her home. She says she remembers standing by a VIP table and that Sharper gave her a drink. She didn't see him make it, but she received it from him, and that's when she was fucked up after the drink. Yeah. Now, Liccardi was obviously aware of all of this. He said that at this point that he was going to leave the party and go home. This woman remembers not wanting to remain at the club because she didn't know Darren. Right. She knew the Liccardi guy, so she felt uncomfortable with somebody she didn't know. Now, Liccardi said, no, it's okay. I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave and I'm going to go home. I'm going over to here, Chalmette he's from. And she asked for a ride home to Kenner, and he said no. So he refused to give her a ride home.
What a scumbag.
So, yeah, I don't feel comfortable in this bar with strange dudes. Will you please give me a ride home? Nope. No, have a good one.
You're all theirs. This is like the two guys from the Pulp Fiction pawn shop.
Yeah, this is exactly what this is. Horrific. This is the fucking Zed and the other guy.
And the hillbilly with the shotgun.
Yeah, and the gimp. That's what we have here. The Darren Sharper is one gimp away from running a Pulp Fiction pawn shop.
Bananas.
This is fucking bonkers, and it gets so much. It's so systematically disgusting. As far as just. Like, some people are like, hey, man, cool. Yeah, I got, we'll watch this movie. Yeah, I got some weed. Cool. I got some beers. Let's hang out. Like, that's their version of that. Like, hey, it's cool. We'll get some drugs and we'll give it to girls without their knowledge. And then we'll bang them. Then we'll fucking have sex with them and kick them out in the morning. It's batshit. It's fucking batshit.
Treating them like garbage. And it's not, just so you know, guys, that's not legal.
None of this is legal. Nothing is legal.
That's not okay.
So, so this same night, night, there's this other guy, last name of Stafford. Now he's working as the manager of a place called Bourbon Heat, which is a nightclub in the area. His club closes at midnight, and after that he took his staff over to Jack's, where they all are, where the woman and Darren are. Now this man, he entered the bar on the second floor, and he saw this woman who he's friends with, the woman who is with Darren. This Stafford fellow here is also a friend of Licardi, so he knows all these people. Licardi knows everybody. So this man, Stafford, he purchased a round of drinks for his staff and for this woman also. And when he handed the drink to this woman, he said she appeared disoriented and confused to him. Not like drunk, but confused, like whacked, like someone just got hit in the head.
Well, what are you giving me?
Yeah, like so, like that, right? But someone who just got hit in the head, like they're just not really looking at you right. Like when someone's drunk, you can tell they're drunk looking at, but like when they're like off a little, you're like, are you all right there? You're not focusing.
Maybe you shouldn't have this.
Yeah,
right.
So it's one of those. She said she just sounded disoriented and confused. He said also, the Stafford guy said she didn't drink her drink, but instead just meandered around in a manner that he found, quote, disturbing.
And she was holding the drink?
She's just holding it, wandering around. He said it was disturbing, like she was something's
wrong with her.
Somebody took, like she just had a lobotomy and got pushed out in a bar or something. So he thought it was really weird. He said at this point that this woman appeared to be with Sharper. That's what it looked like to him, like they were there together. So the Stafford guy asked Sharper if this woman was all right. He said, "Is she all right? Like, you know, what's going on?" So Sharper replied to him, quote, Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy.
Quote, "She's ready. She's on the potion."
Oh, Jesus.
Which, no.
What?
Don't make fucking potions, number one. Don't give them to any. She's ready. She's on the potion. He doesn't know this guy very well. This isn't his best friend. He's so brazen about this shit. He's like, yeah, I drugged this bitch up. I'm going to take her home and fuck her. Like, what is wrong with these fucking...
That is amazing.
What is happening, man?
She's ready. Ugh, what a disgusting thing to say about somebody.
She's on the potion. Jesus Christ. So this Stafford guy, he said he thought the potion was the quote potion was a combination of ecstasy and Ambien, which that'll put you out. The Stafford guy told Sharper that he didn't like the way this woman looked at all. He said, I don't like the way she looks. And Sharper just went, no, she's ready.
Oh boy.
That's it. Like, no, she's ready. This is perfect. He then said Sharper then took her by the hand and led her from the bar. Now, this guy, I don't want to put it on him to not go, hey, don't fucking, but he doesn't know if they're together. They could be in a fucking relationship. They could be into this. He doesn't know.
It's none of your business.
And that's the other thing. It's a nightclub thing. It's like, I don't know. A manager of a nightclub, he's not going to get involved in shit like that.
And this was so many years ago. I mean, 5 years ago.
This is 5 years ago. You still got to, Jesus Christ, someone I wish would say something.
I really believe 5 years ago, people just minded their business and didn't get involved in other people's affairs.
Man.
You know what I mean?
No, that too.
Today's a different story. I'm for sure probably going to say something.
Yeah.
For sure, probably.
Fuck, man. For sure, maybe. There's a chance I'll say something. I'll tell you that. No, I see what you mean. It's fucking crazy. So, now there's another woman that night who's also at Jack's Brewery. While at Jack's, she met Eric Nunez, the steakhouse waiter who was with Sharper in the charges in Louisiana. She knew him for several years. This woman, this is victim number 3. We'll call her because this is the third woman we've talked about. Now Nunez is also a friend of Licardi and a friend of Sharper. Like we said, he's his turtle. So he's known to all these people. Now, this woman, victim number 3, her girlfriend, who she came to the club with, wanted to leave. She wanted both of them to leave. The girlfriend's date, basically she wanted everybody to leave with her date. So let's all go. So she asked, she didn't want to leave yet. So she asked this Nunez guy if he would give her a ride home instead. Nunez texted her, asking if she was ready to leave with him at one point, which she did. She was. This was at 2:50 a.m. Okay. Now, the next day, they meet up, or that morning, they meet up with, she's with Nunez, Sharper, and a blonde woman that she didn't know, who turns out to be our victim number 2. Now, they all take off from Jack's Brewery in Sharper's car. Okay. So Nunez brought this other girl. They're all together with victim number 2. Victim number 2, victim number 3, Nunez and Sharper are all in the car. Licardi has gone. Okay, so they're all there. Sharper drove. Nunez sat shotgun. Both women are in the back.
Okay.
Now, this woman, victim number 3, believed that Sharper, in her mind, Sharper was taking them to where Nunez has parked his car.
Yeah.
Because he said, I'll give you a ride home now. And she said, okay, cool. And they got in this car. She thought they was going to the other car. Then she gets a ride home. Instead, they get to a parking garage in an unknown location to her, which turns out to be Darren Sharper's condo parking garage. She recalls stepping out of the car and helping victim number 2 get out of the car, who is very unsteady. And I don't mean to I'm not trying to dehumanize anybody. I don't want to give their name. And there, she's a victim and she's the second one. So I hate it. I hate saying it like that because it sounds real. Victim number 2 makes him not sound like a person, but we're just trying to keep anonymity here. That's all.
Keeping identification out of it. I mean, that humanizes more than saying victim number 2.
To use the numbers is just so we can keep them straight because there's more than 2.
Right.
So
of course.
So so number 3 helps the poor second woman out, who seems very unsteady, and the 4 people enter Sharper's condo. Once they get inside, Sharper puts basically what's Ambien in the third victim number 3's drink. So he spikes her drink as soon as they get back. Now, after the second person, after victim number 2 there, he was the one, victim number 2 is the one that Stafford guy, the bar manager, was concerned about. After she had left with Sharper, the Stafford guy called Licardi at home to talk to him. Stafford told Licardi, now Licardi's a police officer, mind you. He is a sheriff's deputy, that he saw. He said, look, I saw this woman leave with Sharper and she looked like she was drugged. So, he said, he goes, I know you guys are friends, but I also know that you're a cop. So I'm not saying go over there and fucking kick the door down with your gun out.
Have a talk with your boy.
He said, maybe just do me a favor, go over to Sharper's condo and just see if she needs help. Like, I'm worried about her. See if she needs some help. Maybe she just wants to get out of there. Get her out of there, maybe, So Licardi agreed, and he went over to the condo a short time later, driving his police car, mind you, driving a police vehicle. I don't know if it was an undercover or what, but a police fucking issued vehicle. Stafford arrived shortly after that. Licardi entered the condo on 3 different occasions, and there he went in. He knew that this woman had been drugged, and he knew that Darren had sex with her once he went in. Okay, he came out, spoke with Stafford, and said, "Oh yeah, she's okay, she's cool. Don't worry about it. She's fine in there. Yeah, I checked her out. She's good. Everybody go home now. Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm a
police officer and a paramedic now.
No shit. Yeah, I got it all here. So obviously her drinks have been drugged. Now Sharper and Nunez had sexual intercourse with both of these women while they were unconscious.
Oh my God.
Both of them had sex with both of these women while they were unconscious.
Monsters.
While the women were unconscious, not while Nunez and Sharper were unconscious.
Obviously.
That would be impossible.
Right.
So, the second woman here, she remembers nothing that occurred after the Jack's Club. She remembers nothing of that until she woke up naked in the condo at 10 a.m. with Sharper lying on top of her. She told him to stop, and he did. He called her a cab. She felt disoriented. She said she found her clothes and got dressed and went outside. She said there were some cabs across the street at a hotel over there, and she took one to her car. She said that she knew she had sex the night before, but definitely didn't consent to anything like that. She said she arrived home. She went to sleep. She definitely didn't knowingly have sex with any three of those men. She then the next day contacted the Stafford guy, the bar manager there, who told her that he said, yeah, I went over there with Licardi to the condo late last night. And, he said everything was fine. And she says that she needs to go to the hospital and gets examined. And, he also said, she tells him that Nunez guy was there.
Right.
Someone had sex with me. I don't know. I need to go to the hospital. So later, she texted Nunez and asked him if she had fallen down the night before. I guess she was sore. He said no, and then there was a bunch of text messages indicating that she had sex with Sharper, as well as the second woman that was at the condo was also involved. Basically, from the text message stream, it's clear that she doesn't remember what happened at the condo, and she wasn't even aware there was another woman there.
Jesus.
She doesn't even remember to that point. So she ended up going to the hospital and underwent a rape kit. And also, the second victim also made a report to the New Orleans Police Department. So that's where this all stems from. Now, the third victim, number 3, says she remembered nothing until the next morning when she woke up naked. She said she felt disoriented and saw a naked black male identified as Sharper walk into the room. She said she was aware that at this point that he was going to he tried to have sex with her now too.
Yeah.
So this is like more people. She said it lasted a couple of minutes. She said she felt numb and disoriented, and afterwards he left the room, and she again lost consciousness and awoke later in an unknown bedroom. She woke later somewhere else. Jesus Christ. This is fucking crazy, man. She just tried to wander out. She called her friend who said he would come and get her. She didn't know where she was, but used the GPS on her phone to figure out where she was, and her friend came and got her. Yeah. So lucky for her there. Now there's an investigation into this. And by the way, that's not all there is.
Oh, no.
The FBI gets involved.
Shit, Jesus.
They're not fucking around. Yeah, the FBI gets involved with their crime laboratory. They conduct testing on the hair of the first victim from February, and victim number 3, using, crazy technology and shit to look for certain drugs that may have been because in your hair the drugs stay a lot longer. Right. Like that's people get piss tested. It's one thing. If you get hair tested, then you're really fucked. Yeah. You better not have done shit.
Not in your entire life.
You're fucked. Yeah, you're in deep shit. So it's a test of inclusion, not exclusion. A positive result shows a certain substance was ingested, but a negative result doesn't rule out that ingestion occurred. Okay. The test revealed that victim number 1 tested positive for the presence of Xanax, clonazepam, Jesus Christ, aminoclozapam, Valium, also nordiazepam, and Jesus Christ. And victim number 3 tested positive for Ambien. Okay. So none of them have taken any of that shit. Experts here doing the testing say that these drugs were obviously date rape drugs that people use to knock people the fuck out and Cosby them. So it also the Louisiana State Police Crime Laboratory conducted DNA testing on a stain on a pair of blue jeans which victim number 2 wore on the night of the assault, and they were given to the police department here. DNA profile was also taken from Sharper. Right. So now they got his DNA profile at least. Testing revealed the stain had a mixture of 3 contributors, 1 major and 2 minor. The DNA profile obtained from the major contributor was consistent with the DNA profile of Darren Sharper. Jeez. And a DNA profile was developed from a swab of victim 2 during her rape examination, and that this was also consistent with the DNA of Sharper.
Oh boy.
So he's fucked now, and it gets worse. Also, cell site information was obtained. It showed that the night victim number 1 was raped. Everybody was together. So everybody she said was there. Right. That Licardi got there at 3:15, like he said, to go and investigate. Security camera video was obtained from the parking garage of the condo complex, and it's 3 a.m. on September 23rd, 2013. Shows Sharper, Nunez, and the 2 women getting out of a Range Rover. Just like they said, the third woman helped victim number 2 out of the car, who appeared very unsteady. The 4 of them are walking from the garage to an elevator, and then they show them getting off the elevator in the video and going into his apartment. So they got DNA, video footage. She was there, just like she said, the whole deal. Now, 5:06 a.m. Is when a detective got the call for this from the hospital in September here. This is they call this Detective Derek Williams is who we're going to talk about for a second here. She said she hit the clubs. She said she drank a lot. She met a man. She went to his house and awoke the next morning to find him on top of her, and he was naked. She told the Detective Williams that she had never said yes to sex. So he typed up a report. He labeled the incident a rape, but it was it wasn't quite a normal rape, so he had to kind of go up the chain of command because this woman, by the way, is a former New Orleans Saints cheerleader.
No.
It's a cheerleader. So this motherfucker, not only is he out doing, like, this is they worked in the same organization. Like, they're in the same circle. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? It's with anybody, it's scummy, but for the love of Christ, man. So she's a cheerleader for the Saints, and she's alleging that Darren Sharper is the rapist. So he's going, I gotta run this up the chain of command and tell somebody about this shit here. So it shoots up the ranks of the department. The New Orleans police superintendent and top prosecutor were told about this. I mean, everybody's got to be made aware. In the weeks that followed, by the way, that followed, not just like we went to his house and we cuffed him.
Right.
Police records show that Williams was gathering evidence. He got a warrant to collect a sample of Sharper's DNA. This is all this shit that led to DNA matches. It matched the swab taken from the body, like we said. Witnesses told of seeing Sharper with the intoxicated woman at the club and at his condo. They got all the video footage. It wasn't enough for the district attorney's office to charge yet, though.
Really?
No, they said that it was the case was a real heater, which if you've read the Homicide David Simon book, we've talked about a million times. That's like a red ball. That's a case that's going to get a lot of press coverage, and that your boss's boss is interested in if you're in the police force. And if your boss's boss is reading your reports, your boss is up your ass to have that shit right. So it's one of those things. So
also, it's hard to prove consent.
That's the other thing.
And that's the part that's going to get them.
Yes.
But I mean, if you got a girl on the stand screaming and crying, I never said yes.
And there's multiple girls, too. That's the other. Multiple women.
Right. Giving the same account.
The same story.
Right.
Well, maybe we have to build up a few more over the several states, maybe.
Right.
Let's see.
Maybe we need 58 of them.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, like another friend of ours there. So the prosecutor said they were hesitant to move too quickly on it because he's rich, has good lawyers. Right. He's got the public loves him. So, I mean, he's got PR on his side right away, and he's rich too. So it's like one of those things. So they held off on an arrest warrant, which is, you can't hold off on a sexual predator's fucking arrest warrant. I figure it out. Figure out a way to get him off the street. So one of the justice officials who wouldn't give their name with the police department said, quote, "If his name was John Brown, he would have been in jail. If a woman said he's the guy that raped me and you have corroborating evidence to show they were together and she went to the hospital and she can identify him, that guy goes to jail."
Yeah.
Not if you're rich though. Not if you have silver-haired middle-aged white men coming out of your asshole. In this case, the whole police department's like that.
Or John Brown, the receiver in the NFL. What a fucking dig.
Yeah, no shit. He's like, damn, I'm trying.
That guy.
Dude, I'm trying, man. I'm doing my best.
Trying to make a name for myself.
Shit, I know I'm not a star, but I'm working, man. I work hard every day. I could show up early and stay late. So now back in 2014, let's talk about this because this is all going down 2013. Okay. Now 2014, January 17th, 2014, Sharper actually is arrested in Los Angeles on counts of sexual assault and drug possession.
In LA too?
In LA. Let's talk about this. These incidents were said to have happened in 2013, of October 2013 and January 2014. Okay. He apparently approached two women at Bootsy Bellows. I don't know, it's in West Hollywood, in October 2013, invited them to another party, but said he had to stop at his hotel. Once he got inside the room, he offered them drinks, and one of them woke up naked with Sharper sexually assaulting her, because that's what he does. Now, weeks later, he goes to the same nightclub and invites two women to a party. Again, he stopped at his hotel, and we'll talk about this. He goes to a party on January 14th at the Roosevelt Hotel to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Edition magazine. So, Jesus Christ. Yeah, right? So, Sharper goes to this Bootsy Bellows place again. It's on the Sunset Strip here. Right. There, one woman started talking to Sharper, Sharper. And when they realized they were headed for the same after party, Sharper and the woman decided to share a ride.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to the same place. Why not? Sharper said he first had to pick something up from his hotel, which was the Century Plaza in Century City. He gets in the lobby and goes in there. They go into Sharper's room. Both the women go into the bathroom. When they exit, Sharper greets them with mixed drinks. He said vodka and cranberry juice. Hey, let's have a couple of drinks. Why not? They said they didn't want anything. He said, no, come on. Yeah. Have a drink. So they finally had the drinks. They said that both women said the drinks tasted strange. Yeah. If you're in a strange man's hotel room and your drink doesn't taste right, fucking spike that shit into his head and run as hard as you can, because something is fucking wrong.
And spit it in his face.
Something is off. Right. Yeah, I'd break that shit and slice him like a fucking gangster. I don't care. Jesus, you got to get the fuck out of there because you are in danger. Yeah. I'm telling you right now. Within 10 minutes, both of them were unconscious.
Oh, Jesus.
So that's some strong shit. The women woke up the next morning at 9 a.m. One felt pain, and
they didn't even make it to the other party.
They didn't even get to the other party. No, I don't think he was ever planning on going to that party. He said, "Where are you going?" Me too. Shit, you come with me. No, I'll give you a ride. We just gotta stop at the hotel real quick. It's all good. Have a drink.
Century City.
Wow. The next morning they wake up. They felt pain and burning in a region that would be, consistent with sexual assault. They leave without seeing Sharper at all. They just take off. They talk later in the day and they get their stories together. These women, not their stories, but they piece together what happened. Right. What do you remember? What do I remember? And, all this shit. What do you feel is? I feel is too. Right. What happened to us? And, they end up, later that day, they decide to go to the Santa Monica Rape Crisis Center, at midnight. So the next day they make a report to the Los Angeles Police Department. The officers taking the report, they noted that Sharper's attacks basically feature an MO. Yeah. They actually put it together. It's kind of a big city department, and they put it together that sounds like an MO. That's what this guy does. This isn't like an accident. Like, he takes women to his hotel, and then he fucking drugs them, and then he rapes them. That's not, guys who don't do that never do that. Never. That's the thing. Right. I never have drugs to rape people with, ever. So I couldn't do it because I don't even I don't have those drugs.
I'm blown away.
I never think of it.
I'm blown away that that's the stuff that works.
And do it. That's what people do. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Never know what to give anybody.
You're either a guy that does that or you're not. Right. There's no in between. It's like sometimes I drug chicks. Sometimes I drug and rape chicks, but no, either you're like that or you're not. Right. And apparently they're saying he is. Now this detective who he gets both of these cases here, and a judge issues an arrest warrant. The problem is here, Sharper raped the women when Sharper raped these women in Los Angeles, and then the next day, January 15th, he flew to Las Vegas. There, he met up with two women and a male companion. They all went to Sharper's room. Sharper's the fucking bartender again, mixing drinks for them. Hey, guess what? The women blacked out. When they woke up, one remembered she had woken during the night to find Sharper naked on top of her. The other felt as though she had sex but had no memory of it. Yeah. This is the next day.
Jesus.
So he does this at a party.
What the shit?
Flies out, goes to Vegas, does the same exact thing the next fucking night. This is just what they do.
Wow.
Go to a club, find some chicks, drug them.
The next day.
I feel like they do this every night.
Every night. This is the life.
They don't even try to have game with these women.
They don't try to pick a woman up.
You're a rich, handsome, well-spoken, famous person.
You could get this consensually.
You don't need to do this. This is what I mean. This is what he likes. This is what he's into, because he doesn't need to do. There's plenty of women that'd be plenty willing to have sex with this fucking guy.
Super willing.
There's plenty of people out there that are willing to have sex with him, and if they, not with. This is ridiculous. This is what he's into here. The man that was there too, he woke up in the hotel lobby with no memory of how he arrived there, which is weird too. He drugged the guy too. Weird. I guess he just drugged all three and was
dumped him in the lobby.
Yeah, if I don't need him. Yeah. So, both these women went to a local hospital. They got rape kit examinations. Sharper now within 24 hours had drugged 4 people at this point here. Finally, 5 people. Yeah. But what he does is, this was in 24 hours. Okay. He raped 4. We don't know if he raped the guy or not.
Drugged 5.
Drugged 5, raped 4. Right. So he rapes in Los Angeles, flies to Vegas, rapes some more. The next day, flies right back to L.A. On January 17th, he's arrested at his hotel at 3 p.m. by the Los Angeles Police Department, who've been fucking dying to have a chat with him for the last couple days.
Sure.
So they arrest him. He's taken into custody, at least booked and everything like that, which is not expected for him. He had no fucking idea any of these women were going to the police. Nobody was like telling him they were going to call the cops on him or anything like that. He thought he was planning on what club we going to tonight to fucking do. We're going to Bootsy Bellows or whatever that place was again to drug. That's a good fucking hunting ground. I've drugged many women there before. That seems to be a good place.
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, he's a mess now. This is fucking terrible. And, he's taken to jail, which must be different for him than his luxurious. He's got like multiple luxury condos in Miami and New Orleans. He's got all this shit, stays in nice hotels. Now he is in he's in a goddamn jail cell, LA County jail cell.
Right.
Not nice.
Gray.
Not nice too. Oh, it's great with the
Cold.
shit. The shit in there too. When he was in there, this is fucking fantastic because a guy like that too, he's going to be worried about amenities, things like that. He's used to like 4-star, 5-star amenities. They said while they were there, they had a big fucking like backup in the plumbing with the pipe. They had no running water.
Oh no.
The toilets were all broken. It's fucking crazy. One day he gets a knock on his cell door and there's a man there to fix it and it's Paul Calhoun, shit pipe enthusiast. And he says, how is it you come to arrive here? What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? Listen, guy, I run a shit pipe business. You understand? No, I do. I'm kind of a songwriter on the side, too. I'm not going to lie. I write a tune or two. You know what I mean? Smack your wife, clean your shit pipes. I do my thing. But besides that, I run a shit pipe business, okay? I do all right for myself. You know, I got a Chevy Tahoe out in the garage.
Up and up.
I got a 2-car garage. You know what I mean? I got a little bass boat I take out on the weekends. Nothing special. No. You know what I mean? Me and the wife, we go up to the casino maybe a couple times. 3 times a year. We piss away a little bit of money. Nothing like that. But you know what I'm saying? I can't go out and pick up girls. I understand that. I smell like a shit pipe half the time. I get that. But you're a fucking handsome guy. You're rich. You're out gallivanting like some kind of big shot. Yeah. You got to put drugs in these women's drinks. What the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You're a goddamn disgrace. You know what? I hope your shit pipes. But you, sir, I'm going to keep your shit pipes backed up because you deserve it. Your frame, your entire bone structure is a human shit pipe that you're filled with. You're filled with shit from head to toe, my friend. You have a good one with this. I'm not fixing your plungman. Go fuck yourself. Poof. And in a poof of pipes and shit, in a cloud of it, he's gone. And Sharper is more confused than he was when he got to jail.
Right.
He's like, wait a second. People told on me for rape, and who the fuck is that guy? I am very confused. Along with Jimmie. So, Jesus Christ. So, February 14th, 2014, very romantic Valentine's Day gift for Darren is officially being charged with 2 counts of rape.
On Valentine's Day?
On Valentine's Day.
That's amazing.
Perfect.
So beautiful.
It's perfect. It's poetic.
LA has a way of breaking hearts.
It's poetic. This is good.
Solid.
And they're not gonna let this go by the way of OJ, no, I feel like, too. They're gonna bang him good. He's charged with 2 counts of rape by use of drugs and 5 counts of 5 related felony counts. He's released on $200,000 bond.
What?
$200,000 bond, but the prosecutor requests and is granted it's raised to $1 million.
Fantastic.
Which it doesn't matter how much money it is. Yeah. He's still out raping people.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're making him
dig deep for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just $200,000 where he comes up with $20,000. He's got that in his fucking checking account, no problem, you know? So Sharper pleads not guilty. Conditions of his bail require him to not frequent any drinking establishments as long as not to be alone with any women he has no previous relationship with prior to October 13th, 2013. If you haven't met him yet, you ain't fucking meeting him now, is what the judge told. He literally banned him from meeting women.
Amazing.
Which I've never heard of that before, but that's great. I love this.
That's clever.
You're not allowed to be alone with women. That's how much of a danger you are. We can't have you in the same room with anything with a vagina because you're going to rape it. That's how you can't be trusted. Jesus Christ, man.
That politician, was it Pence that does that? Is it Pence that doesn't like
rapes people?
No, that doesn't like to.
I don't know, maybe.
That is not in any rooms without his wife.
Yes. Yeah. That's like a real hardcore Christian thing.
That's a weird thing.
Do you not trust yourself?
Right.
Or does she not trust you? Or what the fuck?
You just don't want to be accused?
Yeah, there you go. If I told Sarah, like, I won't go in a room with that woman because she's not you, she'd be like, why? What are you thinking of? What are you
trying to do?
You going to fuck her if you're in the same room with her? Why are you doing that? She'd be like, what are you, an asshole? Couldn't explain that away. So, Sharper faces up to 30 years in prison if convicted on all counts. He surrenders. Now he's out on bail, but then February 27th, less than 2 weeks later, he has to surrender to the Los Angeles Police Department again after an arrest warrant is issued by the authorities in Louisiana for him. So now he's getting fucked.
Multiple jurisdictions.
Oh, by the way, while this is going on, the Tempe, Arizona police are also working on some shit. For the next 2 months after this, they record all sorts of developments on all this shit. They get a bunch of victim shit. They get a warrant for Sharper's cell phone records. They obtain all sorts of lab results showing Sharper's DNA on a victim's leggings. On March 11th of that year, a grand jury in Phoenix, or Tempe, an Arizona grand jury, returned an arrest warrant for Sharper also. So it was served to him while he's in the Los Angeles County Jail with his bail revoked and his arrest warrant from Louisiana. Tempe police officials said their investigation was comprehensive and complex. Now, in New Orleans, the case went a little nuts here. As soon as he gets arrested, the New Orleans District Attorney's Office assigns investigators to the case. FBI agents come into the mix because he's bringing drugs back and forth. The rape isn't their business, but the interstate drug trafficking is. So they get involved in that. That way they feel like they can attack him from a multi-angle thing.
Levels,
federal charges, state charges, fucking hit him all over the place. They're treating him like a gangster. So they also learned that Detective Williams, who originally took the report and did the investigation and talked to Liccardi, that he had been duped during the initial investigation. In the fall of that year, Williams interviewed Liccardi, who had gone to Sharper's home to check on this woman, to the cheerleader's welfare. At the time, Liccardi was talking to this cop like he's a fellow cop. He's like, I'm a police officer. I went over there in my squad car and I, ascertained the location of the fucking blah, blah, blah horseshit words that don't go together to try to make themselves sound like they have more than a 10th grade education. Only people who only have a 10th grade education talk like that, by the way. So not all cops talk like that. The ones who graduated, they're just like, I went over there and then that happened. So, but this guy was acting all official. Like I went in, I checked on him. There was adults enjoying alcoholic beverages, so I took my leave. Like he was just, everything was fine. And this Williams, this detective, just took his word for it as a fellow cop. If you're talking...
you tend to trust a guy wearing a badge. If you're wearing a badge.
If you're looking for witnesses and one of the guys has a fucking badge and was on duty at the time, what do you got to say for yourself?
It's hard to discount his claim.
Yeah, why wouldn't you believe him? So, but it turns out that obviously Liccardi is not what he seems to be here. And a new investigation found evidence that suggested Liccardi was actually Sharper's connection to everything that he gets in New Orleans, the non-legal stature here.
The drug stuff.
Yep, they got together in 2010, Liccardi and Sharper. They met at the opening of a bar. Sharper was the celebrity guest, and Liccardi was this guy supplying security. And over the next several years, they grew close together. Liccardi, they allege, traffics in drugs. He works for a gambling operation, collecting for them, and would send out text messages bragging about beating his girlfriend until she was unable to walk.
What?
They found in his cell phone records, when they were looking at, they found text messages where he sent to people bragging about beating his girlfriend till she was physically unable to walk.
That is ridiculous.
He's a fucking monster.
What kind of piece of shit is this guy?
His own mother said to the press, quote, "We have raised a monster."
No kidding.
Thank you for saying that, though. At least they fucking said it. They said Sharper gambled heavily in Louisiana and also in Florida. Liccardi would help him place bets with offshore gambling outfits. He also served as Sharper's source for women and drugs. Like he would bring women to him, give him the drugs to drug them and all that sort of shit. Sharper, he was drugging them with Ambien, and then he moved on to like the Xanax, Valium, MDMA combination. They were working shit out like it was like they were bartenders. It's fucking nuts.
They're experimenting.
They're experimenting.
That's fucking crazy.
Oh, this will knock them out quick.
With somebody else's well-being. Like, you don't know what that's going to do to them.
No, you have no idea.
No.
You could kill. That's what I mean.
And you're taking such a risk.
It's this much will make them fall asleep.
Right.
And what was that movie where it's like you give them this much and they'll pass out.
Right.
You give them that much and they'll die. So be careful. I don't remember what stupid movie it was, but it's one of those things. So now, Liccardi, he said when he talked to this police officer initially, he didn't say that he was the one who was, bringing the women to Sharper and giving them drugs and all that. A former girlfriend of his told police, quote, Liccardi treats women as if they have no value. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
So now, as they get the news of these, of all of this, this Detective Williams in New Orleans gets news of all these other victims, he's pissed because if Liccardi told him the truth, he could have gotten this guy off the street before all these women got fucking raped in California.
Probably could have washed his hands of it.
Yeah, it would have been, exactly. So he got super pissed here. I guess Liccardi finally gave details of Sharper's attacks later on, and Williams, I guess, in the transcript of this interview, transcript of it, lit into him pretty good here. He said, quote, I'm a cop and I'm pissed off because you knew a lot of this information the first time you came and spoke with me. We could have gotten a lot of this out of the way. Whatever truths that need to come out, shit done hit the fan at this point. That's awesome.
That's honesty.
That's fucking great.
Beautiful.
When a fucking down south detective says, shit done hit the fan, I'm like, oh, shit done hit the fan.
The guy that says Louisiana.
Yeah, Louisiana. This is some Louisiana shit thrown up against that fan, boy. I can tell you something.
It is some sticky Louisiana shit.
That's an older black man right there. I like it.
That's a crawfish boil shit. That's what that is.
He boils up the best crawfish you're going to fucking have. I'm telling you, he makes his own spices.
And then he's going to throw it right into that fan.
They're fucking good. So his accomplices here, February 27, 2014, Nunez, the steakhouse waiter, was arrested and charged in New Orleans with 2 counts of aggravated rape from the September 23rd incident at the condo. Also, he is charged with obstruction of justice between September 23rd and the date he's arrested, because they said he's been lying the whole time and obstructing justice. Right. So, March 2014, the NFL Network finally fires him.
Now? After all this.
They suspended him when he got arrested. And then they finally they're like, okay, he's been arrested in how many states now? We should probably shit can him. Let's go ahead and stop sending him a paycheck. What do you say here?
State number 1 should have been enough to suspend without pay.
Let's get him off the air.
State number 2, let's void that contract.
Let's cut that out. So he was making $250,000 a year from the NFL Network before his contract is terminated. He also had made the previous year $50,000 from a local TV station to do football commentary. They do like the local. Whatever. The local regional game. The regional
whatever
game.
What's happening there. Right.
Now in Miami, Florida, let's talk about that. Another woman filed a sexual battery complaint against Sharper relating to a 2012 incident. According to this report, the woman was with 2 friends at a Miami Beach club in September of 2012 when she met Sharper. A woman and her friends and another person went to Sharper's condo, and that's when bad shit happened, basically. The woman met Sharper at this place. They come back to his condo, his $6.7 million, 3,500 square foot apartment on the 20th floor in Miami, overlooking the ocean.
What a dickhead.
That's his
rape fucking mansion?
That's his rape castle.
What a dickhead.
That sounds, first of all, like an awesome place to hang out.
You could easily get laid just taking people up and showing them that.
You don't even have to be attractive. No. You don't have to do anything. You can just be like, my house is cool. And people just be so excited to be in a nice place. They'll want to
just thrilled to blow somebody.
They just want to have sex there because it's a cool place. Like it's a cool place to have sex.
I know I barely know you, Darren, but I'd really love to ride you and watch those waves.
Come on, man. 20th floor, big ceiling to floor windows with views of the Atlantic and the city.
That makes me horny already.
That's what I'm saying. They said, according to this report, 2 heavy-set men were in the back, along with Jimmie Sharper, the brother. This is the first time we've mentioned him at all. One of his friends and one of the women went into a nearby room. The other two women, who were exhausted from partying, fell asleep on couches in the living room. Later that evening, one of the women in the living room awoke to find a man attempting to put his penis into her mouth, the report states. She pushed him away.
It's a terrible way to wake up.
That's never want to wake up. I hate waking up like that. Every time I wake up like that, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
What did I do?
But this poor woman is not wanting this.
Yeah.
She pushed him away and then went back to sleep. And I think that would be the end of my slumber at that point. I'm up. I'm up.
This place ain't that nice.
Oh boy. She woke later on to find the same man trying to lift up her dress. So, dude's after some shit here. She was pissed off, obviously. She woke her friend up, and then she woke up the man, this guy Pietragallo, who was there, one of Sharper's friends, and her other friend from the bedroom. The women told this Pietragallo guy and their friend what had happened, but both women said that they discovered their underwear had been removed during the night. At this point, they realized they didn't have their underwear on. So this Pietragallo guy took the two women to the hospital the next morning. They underwent a rape kit, forensic examination, the whole deal. They did everything, toxicology exam also. They asked them if they're, are you on any drugs? Yeah. No. Well, then to find out whatever they find. If you didn't do it, then maybe somebody did it to you. Anyway, to try to get some evidence here, they also decide to contact Miami Beach police. Now, an officer, Fernandez, arrives at the hospital and spoke with the nurse. Now, the nurse wrote in his police report, telling him that she didn't find any evidence of sexual assault, but, it's weird. She said she didn't, in the report it says, quote, did not find any evidence. Okay. Now later on, she did an interview with the news that says that she never said that. And she said she would never put that in a report. She says, quote, would never say that. That's not my role. Yeah. She's not looking for, she would never phrase it as evidence. That's not what she's looking for. Right. She's a nurse, not a police officer.
Yeah. She's looking for stuff to test.
In her report, evidence would never be a word used. Okay. So she said, that's bullshit that the police said that I said that. Okay. So right away, there's a little discrepancy there. Fernandez also reported that the victim identified the man who assaulted her as either Darren or Jimmie Sharper. Mm-hmm. So either one. And Pietragallo said that Jimmie was never mentioned by either victim, nor was he involved at all. They said he was gone that night long before any of this shit happened, basically. Now, Fernandez, his report contains no mention of an effort to contact Darren Sharper. None.
He didn't even call in an interview?
Nothing. Didn't even call him to talk to him about it. This is 2012. This is well before how many other people have been fucking raped, basically. This is crazy here. So, no evidence there, nor are there any signs that he attempted to collect evidence from Sharper's apartment. He never referred the case to Miami Beach's Criminal Investigations Unit for further investigation. He never contacted prosecutors to determine whether probable cause existed to, further investigate. And also, there's no sign that Fernandez ever sent the women's rape kits to the lab for more detailed examination. Ooh. So this guy basically didn't take them in and then just wrote on the report, nurse said she didn't find any evidence, so it's fine. That was his fucking game that he played. This fucking lazy shithead.
Does he know Darren? What is this?
I don't know if he knows him or if he's just fucking lazy. Right. And I feel like he didn't believe the chick. Right. I feel like he's like, this fucking girl was out there. Yeah. Where were you hanging out? Oh, at those rich
NFL player?
Okay, yeah, I'm sure you got raped. Right. And then he fucking piece of shit. This guy, not a good fucking police officer here. Apparently it says that the failure to promptly test rape kits is not like it's not a small problem. It's a huge problem.
Countrywide.
It's a national problem that's been fucking up investigations for a long time. The federal government estimates that there's a current backlog of hundreds of thousands of kits sitting unexamined in police stations and testing labs. He did consult with his superiors, Fernandez, and 5 days after the incident, he closed the case. It was not labeled a crime, and it sits in the Miami Beach records as a, quote, miscellaneous incident.
Still.
Still.
Jesus.
Well, at that time.
Yeah.
Miami police would not be interviewed or respond to written questions. Efforts to talk to Fernandez, obviously, he wasn't talking at all here.
He's probably gone home for a while.
Now, finally, when someone from the Miami Beach Police Department talked, it was a guy named Detective Ernesto Rodriguez, and he said, quote, "The women involved never said that they were sexually assaulted, nor was there any physical evidence. The officers consulted with a detective, and based on the lack of evidence of a crime, they all concluded no further action could be taken by the department." They said they didn't know what happened,
right.
but they woke up with a guy trying to put their dick in their mouth without their underwear.
Right.
That's a pretty good sign of sexual. I think just trying to involuntarily put your dick in someone's mouth is a sexual assault.
Give
personally.
that a shot.
I don't know.
Some DNA somewhere.
Yeah, if you try to put your dick in my mouth,
right.
I think you should be arrested for it. Personally,
how about we do some work that corroborates that story?
How about
At least
that?
try to.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. It's fucked up, man. So now Arizona, back to there. March 12, 2014. Sharper is charged with sexual assault in Arizona. They say under Arizona state law, a person commits sexual assault by knowingly engaging in sexual intercourse or oral sexual contact with another person without that person's consent. No consent was given if the victim was incapable of consenting by reason of drugs, alcohol, sleep, or similar impairment. And so that's the law in Arizona here. Right. It's pretty narrow, actually. It's a rapey law. It's a law you don't fuck people if they're not up for it, basically.
Don't do it against their will.
So November 20th is what this is all from, a November 20th incident here. November 20th, 2013, Sharper, this is all a big timeline, 2012, 13. Sharper flew into Sky Harbor, the airport here in Phoenix, at 9 p.m. to meet a friend who is a 21-year-old young lady who was a senior at Arizona State University, and he'd previously been with her before. This is like his his Phoenix hookup, basically. Yeah. She took him to her apartment where she lived with her roommate was another female ASU student. Sharper and these two women, Sharper and this young woman and a girlfriend who lived down the hall, all said they're going to go out and hit a club, go out and party, whatever. So at that one bar, Sharper's friend here, she got sick and threw up on the table.
Jesus.
So Sharper, the woman, and her friend returned to the apartment. They had to carry this girl inside. Her roommate helped carry this woman to her room, changed her into her pajamas, and left her passed out in bed. So, but in the kitchen, Sharper was still in the kitchen ready to party. He was stripped down to his boxers at that point. So they go in, they put a passed out woman in her bed. This other young lady, changes her into her pajamas, and she comes out. She's like, "Boy, that was gross." Oh, and he's in his underwear in the kitchen,
holding a mixed drink,
holding what he called, quote, frat shots. Yeah, he said for the women. He insisted that these women drink. One of the women drank the shot. The other woman drank half and put it aside. They said that the woman that took the full shot was unconscious within minutes.
Wow!
So he's got a quick knockout thing here. The roommate and Sharper arranged her on a nearby couch. They said, now the sole remaining conscious woman, there's one conscious woman left. She went into her bedroom and locked the door. She called her boyfriend in Louisiana. Now, she said that she laid down. She said she was, quote, dizzy and had lost control of her motor functions and her muscles felt weak. This is the one who had half the drink. Her boyfriend told her that she should open a window and try to get some fresh air and wake herself up. She couldn't muster enough force to open a window. Wow. That's how fucked up she was. Her boyfriend said splashing water on her face might help. She walked out of her bedroom and headed to a sink it has a shared bathroom in the hall here. She stopped and saw Sharper naked having sex with the woman who was passed out on the couch.
Asshole.
So she walked out to see him raping this woman, like in the midst of it there. She later told police that she couldn't see whether her friend was conscious or if it was a consensual sex act. But based on the fact that she drank a drink and passed the fuck out, I don't think she was up for it.
And based on this chick's response to half of it,
there's
no way you can consent to that.
I would say not. Right. Now, she went and wetted down her face and hurried back to her bedroom, obviously. Yeah. She kept her boyfriend on the phone and relayed what she saw. And a minute later, there's a knock on the door.
Oh, boy.
And she left it open. She forgot to lock it when she came back. And the door opened, and it was Darren standing there in his boxer shorts. Yep. He said he wanted to explain that he and the woman he'd been assaulting, quote, had something going on. Yeah. He's like, we got something going on. So this is what we do. Like, I drug her and we fuck. Yeah, right. It's cool. He said, we'll just talk about it in the morning, so relax. It's all good. So the next morning, all three women got to Darren and said, what the fuck did you do? Right. To us, that she saw this one passed out. What's going on? And he said he had no memory of the night. He doesn't know what they're talking about. I don't remember a fucking thing that happened last night. Shrugs his shoulders and says, I don't know. By noon, he just left. Takes off from the apartment. All three women go to a local hospital. Two of them received rape kit examinations. One exam showed minor injuries to her consistent with involuntary intercourse. A detective here who served on the sex crimes unit was called in, obviously. 1:28 a.m. on November 22nd, 2013 here. Tempe police officers searched the apartment. They collected drink bottles, plastic cups from a trash can, a rug, couch cushions, clothing. This is ASU. They know how to examine rape. There's a whole
constantly.
It's like one of the rapier schools in the country. These motherfuckers know how to put a rape fucking investigation together. They got one of the discarded cups still held remnants of a drink that Sharper mixed.
How about that?
And they also found a broken pink pill that they couldn't identify right away here. They also called the victims to find out if they took any prescription drugs. All of them said no. So they go, okay, well, this isn't theirs. Right. They end up getting the rape kit evidence. The examiner's diagnosis was as follows: sexual assault by history, minor physical injuries by exam, crime lab results pending. So that didn't conflict with the victim's statements. Right. So that's good for the prosecutors. Tempe police, though, they kept going. 7 officers were working this case. Wow. They got clothing and DNA samples from the women. They interviewed the boyfriend who received the call that was going on here. One victim met a detective 4 days after the assault and before Thanksgiving, and she'd been corresponding with Sharper by voicemail and text message, I guess trying to set him up. They were supposed to talk on the phone that evening. This detective prepared this young lady for the conversation. Now that the cop's going to record this conversation now. They have a script for this sort of thing, and they basically do this on purpose. They do this all the time.
Certainly.
It's to get the guy to admit it. So several different statements were printed out and placed before her so she knew what to say. One was, why did you take my clothes off? I was passed out. Shit like that. So she called Sharper. He picked up. He complained his phone battery was low and said he'd call back, which he called back from a blocked number. I guess that's his
game.
That's his game phone.
I can say this wasn't me.
Yeah, I guess so. So Sharper said he kind of vaguely apologized without acknowledging anything.
Yeah. And
she said something about apologizing, and she said, apologize for what? What were you apologizing for? Trying to get him to say it. She was angry, but he was he's quick on his feet. He's like he is stepping past a receiver to pick off a pass right here. He said that he needed to move forward as friends and that they shouldn't discuss specifics of anything, and that he'd been fucked up as anybody. They were all fucked up that night. I was just as fucked up as anybody, and I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. So she couldn't get him to say anything, basically. At one point, she told Sharper that you've probably done shit like this before, and all he would say is, that's just ridiculous. And then he hung up, and that was it. So didn't want anything to do with her. Now, September 2014, Sharper, is suing the New Orleans Saints.
Why?
Because, Jesus Christ, he's suing the Saints, claiming he became disabled from a lingering left knee injury that he suffered on November 8th, 2009 in a game against the Panthers. His attorney said that he re-injured the knee numerous times, including during the Saints' 2011 playoff loss to the Seattle. Because they said after that he tried to catch on with the Broncos and the Patriots. He went to camp but never got a contract. Okay. they said everybody agrees that he was injured, but Sharper claims that he was also injured in 2011, and it was those injuries that made him, that forced him out of the NFL. He said, I didn't feel like I could make the plays I could in the past. Maybe because you're 37 years old.
Right. That's what happens.
Attorneys for the Saints said Sharper never notified the team's medical staff of any injuries suffered during the game, and Sharper told the judge that he was, quote, too distraught after the game to bring it up. Sorry, tough shit. The Saints denied Sharper had to retire because of his knee injury, and it suggested that he was just too old to play in the NFL. No shit. They said the fact of the matter is that Sharper's 14-year career had concluded.
Yeah.
Period.
That's the end of the game, bud.
That's it. So
eventually you stop playing. That's the way it goes.
Yeah,
you don't
you're
get
too
to play
old.
forever.
You pay till you're 50?
Right.
Yeah, of course you're going to have injuries. So the judge rules against him. They only award him $2,000 in penalties due to the fact that the Saints didn't authorize treatment related to his injury. So he got $2,000 out of it. They don't even know what he was asking for. December 12, 2014, an Orleans Parish grand jury indicts Sharper on 2 counts of aggravated rape, stating that if convicted, he'll face a mandatory life sentence on this one. On the same day, a federal grand jury in the U.S. District Court for the Eastern District of Louisiana returns an indictment for conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance and distribution of a controlled substance. Yeah. So they're trying to get him on both ends. December 12th, 2014, same day, Licardi, his friend there, he's indicted by a federal grand jury on 6 criminal counts, including tampering with a witness, impeding an investigation, conspiracy to distribute a controlled substance, and distribution of a controlled substance. Yeah. So he's pretty fucked too. February 6th, 2015, Licardi pleads innocent to state charges, including aggravated rape, and 3 counts of human trafficking to facilitate sexual conduct. That is not a charge you want.
That's a gross one.
That's a bad one. Additionally, he's also charged with battery using a dangerous weapon. I believe that's the drug. Now, Reggie Bush is involved in this.
No.
Okay. A lawyer at this point for Reggie Bush, for Lions running back at the time, Reggie Bush, denied any allegations made in Louisiana. In Louisiana, in court, that there was allegations made against him in this case that he gave ecstasy to women while hanging out with Darren Sharper in Las Vegas.
Really?
Bush's attorney said, quote, "This is outrageous. I can say to you on the record that Reggie adamantly, vehemently, and unequivocally denies all of the statements in that article. We are demanding a retraction from the advocate, and Reggie is considering taking legal action." He's pissed. This report said that one of his co-defendants here, which was Licardi, told investigators that they're just saying what was in a police report. I mean, they don't have proof of it. They're just saying whatever. He told police that Bush gave ecstasy to women and put it in champagne glasses at a Las Vegas nightclub. And I quote from the report, quote, "Okay, I was in Vegas about 3 years ago, and Reggie Bush put Molly in champagne. He was handing out Molly on the dance floor to girls, handing it out, like giving it to them." And the DA guy said, "And how do you know that?" He said, "Because I saw it with my own eyes." And later in the interview, he said, "Reggie, yeah, no, I didn't see him put it in the drink. He told me, and he said he was handing it to people in Vegas. He asked me if I wanted some, and I was like, I don't do that stuff." So he said Reggie Bush had ecstasy in Vegas. He didn't say that he saw him drug women with ecstasy in Vegas, but he got drug into this whole fucking mess, basically. Yeah. Well, he might have been doing it. We don't have proof of it, so poor guy at this point. Sorry, Reggie Bush, for dragging you into this shit. Now, Sharper here, Jesus Christ, they were on the same team in 2009, 2010 with the Saints. Bush was never charged with any wrongdoing or anything like that. They say that he's been forthcoming and that they will not confirm nor deny investigations into Bush at this point. That's what all the FBI said. They
looked at it.
They looked at it and they said he's fine. So, the Lions declined to make a comment on the whole thing. At the time? Yeah, they didn't say shit. His lawyer said, quote, "There's no investigation. There's never been any complaint made by any person of this happening. It appears to be something that's been stated by someone who's a criminal defendant in a serious case looking for anything he can say to deflect from his own troubles." I would say that. So he said that the relationship between Bush and Sharper is limited to being former teammates and vague friends. Right. That's basically it. February of 2015, Darren is up for the NFL Hall of Fame.
What?
He's up for the Football Hall of Fame. His eligibility is up 5 years.
Okay.
And numbers-wise, he's a fucking lock.
Right, yeah.
Peter King, who's God karate, was the editor of Sports Illustrated. He's a big sports guy. He thinks that Sharper should get in.
No.
He wrote a big thing saying, look, I get it. I don't care if he raped 50 people.
What?
He says the Hall of Fame voting requires only on-field things can be considered. It doesn't say you have to consider this, and then if you want, it says only those things can be considered.
Right.
So if you're doing, it's not like baseball, where baseball is like a citizenship award too. You have to be a good guy that everybody likes. In football, it's literally on field.
OJ's still in there, right?
Oh, fuck yeah. OJ was good. Lawrence Taylor got in the Hall of Fame after that because, sorry, on field, I was on field. But
Michael Irvin's in there.
He is.
There's a lot of bad.
He's done a lot of bad stuff,
deeds.
Michael Irvin, by the way. I read this book. Oh, boy.
He's a real
Jeff
turd.
Pearlman's a good writer. He wrote the USFL book, and he wrote this book about the Cowboys in the 90s, and it's a fucking trip, man.
Yeah.
All sorts of dirt, and it's good stuff.
Michael Irvin's a bad man.
That's the book where I found out that Skip Bayless fucking tried to out Troy Aikman for no reason. To say he was printed that he was gay when he was like, huh? What
the fuck?
Even if he is gay, leave him alone.
And then you're supposed to be a fan of that team?
Yeah.
I mean, if John Elway was gay, I wouldn't want to acknowledge that rumor.
I wouldn't give a shit. Anyway, stupid. So anyway, March of 2015 here, Sharp's lawyer, and all of this, because he's got a mountain in 4 states against him. Sharp's lawyer says that Darren has reached a plea agreement to resolve all of the charges against him. He says it's everything. It's sexual assault in Arizona, no contest to California raping 2 women, Arizona, and so all of this shit, right? This is what's going on. He appears in Los Angeles on March 23rd to enter the pleas here. An Arizona judge, because he pleads guilty, he enters guilty pleas to sexual assault in Arizona by video conference, and the judge sentences him to 9 years in prison with no early release. And that's his balloon deal. He makes a deal where all of this shit from everything gets dumped into a 9-year sentence.
No way.
That's the deal he gets here. Now, keep that in mind, okay? Now, Nevada, back to Nevada, November March 20, 2015, he's charged with 2 sexual assaults in Vegas from that one night. We told you about what happened there. Now, Jesus Christ. All of this shit is a mountain. His lawyer at this point says, quote, I'm more than sure that when it's all said and done, he'll be vindicated.
What?
How? You know how many people, how many witnesses, how many fucking rape kits have been done? Good Lord.
And as soon as this shit gets onto TMZ or any site,
it has been. This went crazy.
I get it, but nightly news, that's when people go, I had the same experience, and I didn't think anybody would believe it.
Absolutely.
And then those people come out.
Who knows how many fucking people he's been doing this to over the years?
It's got to be numerous.
It's not just these people, I'm pretty sure. So March 25th, 2015. By the way, that lawyer is silver-haired, middle-aged white man extraordinaire.
For sure.
You got some balls on you there, mister.
Really brazen statement.
I would say. So 2015, March 24th, Sharper pleads guilty to a single count of attempted sexual assault on 2 women in Vegas. He agrees to serve 3 to 8 years for this crime. See, it's all in this whole thing. March 25th, 2015, Hermitage High School that he went to school at takes his trophy, takes all of his shit down.
Well, how about that?
They banned him. There's a trophy case filled with autographed shit. There's a photo of him wearing a Green Bay Packers uniform, had an autographed helmet, and down the hall there was a plaque with his name on the Hall of Fame. They took it all down. The guy from the school said, quote, 30 to 45 minutes after finding out, we removed the stuff out of the trophy case and the plaque off the Hall of Fame wall. Jesus Christ. They said, quote, we didn't do it in front of an audience. We didn't make a production out of it. We just wanted to remove it. They said they moved it down to a storage unit. He said, certainly if the family were to request it and want it, then we'd let them have it. But at this point, we have no contact with the family and everything's in storage.
You're saying they're just trying to forget about it, James?
Yeah, I think it's a little like in Arrested Development. It's a forget-me-not. That's what he's taking. Jesus Christ. Well, Sharper can help him with that.
I like it.
So, Daryl Jenkins, who was his former basketball coach at Hermitage, said that he could never have seen this coming. He said in all of his years at Hermitage, Sharper was on the honor roll and student council. He said, quote, he was a Hermitage scholar, had perfect attendance, and went on to a top academic school. It's sad and tragic. We're talking about kids that are role models, kids people look up to. I'm not going to cast stones, but the man is tarnished now, no matter what happens. That hurts. No shit. Yeah, April 2015, William and Mary College removes Darren from their Hall of Fame.
Really?
They shit can all of his stuff, too. He's pulling him out there. So Louisiana and federal and all this shit here. May 29, 2015, Sharper pleads guilty in federal court to conspiracy to distribute the 3 different drugs here with intent to commit rape and 2 counts of distributing these substances with intent to commit rape. He accepted a 9-year plea, like we told him. This is what he keeps going around. Right. But federal judge, U.S. District Judge Jane Malazzo rejected the deal, saying, quote, this court cannot accept this plea agreement, and noted that a federal pre-sentence report called for a range of 15 to 25 years. Said, fuck you, that's too light. You're not getting that. So that there's no deal then. If the judge doesn't sign off on it, it doesn't happen. So July 24th, 2015, Nunez, the steakhouse waiter, is federally charged with conspiracy to impede an investigation. Also, Brandon Liccardi and Eric Nunez here, they're charged in a 7-count superseding indictment. This is all sorts of trafficking here. It's trafficking with intent to commit rape, witness tampering, impeding an investigation. Jesus. All of these have every count has 20 years maximum with $250,000 fine.
Holy fuck.
They're all fucking huge.
Yeah.
The judge rejects, like I said, Sharper's plea deal is due to the pre-sentencing report, and they said the sheer number of victims and the seriousness of this crime. So many fucking victims.
Yeah.
So many. So far, we've talked about a bunch.
Way too many.
In court, it comes out 9 is the number in court, but the judge said there's could be as many as 16, and then basically also says who the fuck knows how many more there are out there. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's so many of these people. They're fucked up, man. This is because they're not even I don't know. This is the worst type of shit to me. When people act like they're your friend, and then they fucking
gaming on you.
And they're gaming on you to literally drug you and use your body. That is fucking hideous and goddamn disgusting.
It's not even financial gain that you're just taking something from somebody.
You're just
treating them like trash.
For a minute of pleasure.
For nothing.
It's fucking, I've never felt worse for anybody than those people. I mean, I feel bad for them, but not nearly. Not nearly as bad as I feel for Darren Sharp, a head chef at the Wheelwrights, which is in Swindon of the United Kingdom. It's Darren Sharp, not Sharper, but his shit comes up a lot.
Yeah.
And if that's not good enough, there is also a Darren Sharper.
Oh, no.
Darrin instead of En, Sharper of, listen to his business name, Darren's Sharper Image Lawn Service in Waterton, South Dakota.
It sounds like it could be, a guy that raped.
It sounds like you're calling a rapist to your house to cut your lawn.
Oh, Christ.
Also, there's a guy named Darren that works at Sharper Image that I found. Literally, I found that guy. This is Darren from Sharper Image.
That's amazing.
But he's not there. So there's a guy there anyway. So March 22nd, 2016, the judge Malazzo approves a new deal under which the proposed length of imprisonment fits the range. Yeah. He pleads guilty, Darren does, to conspiracy to distribute a Schedule 4 controlled substance with the intent to commit rape, and 2 counts of distribution of a controlled 4 substance with intent to commit rape. The sentencing here, we'll get to that in 1 second, though, because I want people to the victim impact statements we'll get here for a second here. Now, Nunez, in his court case, the steakhouse waiter, he's looking for a light sentence. He says, quote, "I've always respected women and held them in high regard.
Yeah.
I would never intentionally want to cause them harm. I have also learned how extremely important it is that ignorance is no excuse." Also, intentionally doing it's no fucking excuse. The victims had a different thing to say. These victims were talking to Liccardi and Nunez. They said, "You were the ones who set everything up," which is true. You both would steamroll whoever was in your way to become best friends with these people. And the thing is, where are they now? Brandon, it sickens me to realize how you should have been acting versus the reality of who you really are. I guess the king of Chalmette has fallen. The cop that couldn't stop a crime from happening.
The king of Chalmette.
Fucked.
Jesus.
The second woman said, quote, you took away my permission to decide and do the unthinkable. I had bruises everywhere. I constantly questioned where I got my black eye from. You were dead to me the moment I realized what happened. So, this judge, Liccardi is sentenced to 17 years in federal prison, while Nunez gets 10 years in prison here. So they plead to all that. There's all sorts of shit there. They have still a bunch of state shit. Liccardi admitted to raping a woman he met at the Super Bowl party. Now, they had to tell what they did here. So this whole thing, they're later sentenced on basically everything runs concurrently with their sentence. So they'll get 17 years federally, and then they'll get 15 from the state and 14 from this one over here. But it all runs concurrently under the federal sentence, which says whatever. So Sharper, on the other hand, here, Sharper sentencing. Let's hear what he said. Let's do an in their own words.
Fantastic.
Let's have an in their own words for him pleading for his fucking worthless life. Okay. What do you say we do that? We have in their own words, quote, I still don't know why I lived my life right for 38 years and then I took this path. I did not intend to cause any harm or hurt anyone. I was so wrapped up in a world that was so intoxicating that I let my judgment of other people's character get distorted. I made a terrible decision to leave you in the hands of a monster, talking to the woman. I went over it 1,000 times in my head, and I should not have left you alone there with him, but I did. And this is the cheerleader. She dismissed his apology and said that Liccardi came clean with everything and said to Darren, quote, if you are truly, really sorry, do the right thing and start talking. I would say so.
Yeah, own your mistakes, dickhead.
Own your mistakes. So the judge says, I got some fucking talking to do here. This is federal court. This is the federal one. She says, Mr. Sharper, you, sir, may fuck off. 220 months of incarceration, followed by 3 years of supervised release and $20,000 fine. It's about 18 years. Not enough.
No.
Not enough. Now, November sentencing, he's in Los Angeles for sentencing. Victim impact again. We'll give these people a voice here. She said, quote, I can only imagine myself lying there like a vegetable while he took advantage of my body without my permission. I've lost every bit of self-confidence I've ever had, and I'm always in fear while I'm alone. It doesn't matter whether it's day or night. I can see a guy and automatically think in my head, what if this guy tries to rape me? She was a surfer, a professional surfer before that. She said her surfing career has fizzled out. She found she couldn't focus or strike up her usual passion for anything. She lost her sponsor, struggled to find her self-worth, and said, quote, I feel lost in this world. So the judge said, you, sir, may fuck off. 20 years in prison.
Oh, that's steep.
Take that. Well, he got 18 federal. 20 years in prison. This is Superior Court Judge Michael Pastor. This deal allows serving half that time minus time already served, though, in California, because as a non-violent criminal in the state of California, raping an intoxicated person is a non-violent crime.
That is a horrible law.
That's a fucked up law. They should probably change that. I would say that sounds like a violent crime to me. That's violent. That's as violent as it gets.
That's pretty violent.
So reaction to this, the FBI has created a database to contain detailed case descriptions to help police capture serial rapists who operate across state lines. They say it's seldom used. Of the 79,770 rapes reported to the police in 2013, that's a lot. Only 240 cases were entered into the database. 0.3%. So you're really going to find a lot out like that. Today studies show that still in this fucking day and age, only 1 in 3 victims report sexual assaults in the first place. Of those reports, they show that less than 40% result in arrest. So a third report it, and only less than half of those. So basically, you have like a 15% chance of getting arrested if you're a rapist. That's why we can't have that shit. So I mean, we can't fucking have it because people get away with it. That's why they fucking get away with it. How often did he get away with it before he got caught? He had to. A bunch, right? It's goddamn awful. It's way lower than other major crimes. Put it that way. Murder, aggravated assault. There's a stigma, and that's what it is. The research director for End Violence Against Women International said, we do an abysmal job of investigating and prosecuting rape. There are failures at all levels.
Absolutely.
Fucking agreed after reading this story.
No doubt.
Can't get enough of Darren Sharper?
I think we've all had enough.
think we've had plenty of this motherfucker on Earth, pretty much. I've had plenty of him breathing.
My Christ.
Well, you can go to sportsmemorabilia.com gmail.com and get an autographed picture of him on the Vikings for $40.99.
Wow.
Are you at? Oh, it doesn't matter. Nobody wants his autograph anyway. So you could put it on there for $1 million or $5 million or a penny. Nobody wants it.
$40 is steep.
$41.
That should be free.
I would say so if you would want it. Also, they have the balls on this site to have an autographed mini helmet. Not even like a fucking full-size Riddell. A fucking mini Saints helmet on there, autographed for $388.99. Good luck. Fuck you. Yeah. Eat dicks. I'd like to put something in your drink and fucking do something to you over that. Because I
hope you hang on to that helmet for the rest of your life.
They will. Yeah. I have a feeling they're going to have it unless they drop it to 38 cents. Right. It's over with. But that is Darren Sharper.
Wow.
That's a story that obviously has been requested a lot, and we've kind of talked about. And I wanted to give you kind of a special for the Super Bowl. I think that was a special one. Holy Jesus Christ.
He played for the Saints. I mean,
played for the goddamn Saints.
That's named after religious shit, you know?
Yeah, no shit. No shit. The Saints, I mean,
like the best people that are religious.
The Packers, I guess that's apt.
Yeah.
He's packing something.
Yeah,
but not good. And the Vikings, he's pillaging like one. He's got that. Crazy. So Vikings and Saints are interesting for him. But that's Darren Sharper. If you like that show, why don't you let us know about it? Go over to iTunes or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to this show right now and give us a review. Give us 5 stars. Just say you're following instructions, following directions. It doesn't matter. It's not for our egos. We promise you that. It's just to drive us up the charts. If you want to do a little more, I know what you can do. Go over to shutupandgivememurder.com. Damn it. You go there and you can follow us on social media. There's links to that. It's at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram there. You can follow us. You can go buy your merchandise. Get a t-shirt. Damn it. It's got all of our cool phrases on it and stuff, and wear the t-shirt to a goddamn live show that you can get a ticket to right away. You can do that on our site. January the 25th, this Friday in Seattle at the Neptune, and February 21st at the West Palm Beach Improv in West Palm Beach, Florida. Come out and see those. If you want to be an even more amazing person and be one of our producers who we're going to talk about in just one moment, you can do that so damn easily. You can follow the links on our site over to patreon.com/crimeinsports, or head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. So do all of that. And that said, I got to hear it, Jimmy. I got to hear, this is a group of, tell me this group of people who I wouldn't mind drugging me, Jimmy. Tell me who they are.
This week's executive producers are Sheelan Ali, Susanna Platt, Evelyn Turcule. I think it's Evelyn. It might be Eveline. I'm not sure. That's a tough last name. Skip Beeman donated twice, incredibly. Thank you so much.
So much. Good God.
Emily Wilkins, Ashley Brocado. It's like brocado, like it's bro avocado.
Bro avocado. Yeah.
Ashley, thank you. Luke,
thank you, Ashley.
Luke. Fopoli, Jennifer Liticote, and Lisa Jensen are both coming to Seattle. We'll see you guys up there. Javon Beisner, I think it's Javon. Yeah, it's Javon Beisner, that's for sure. And he said, Hail Nimrod, because he also listens to Cummins, and he says
I like it.
2 of his 3 favorites. So
awesome.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Javon.
you, brother. We're in good company.
Also, Thomas Smith, Morgan Gravenmeyer, Natalie Martinchich, Kimberly Bryant, Ashley Vio, Catherine Hardwick, Stephen Rude, Jordan Moser, Don Bouchard, Jesse Hartman, Carly Way, Agatha Corhoran, yes, Mariella Rosas, Mariah Menhir, Mike Coziella, Julian Nwako.
Oh,
I think
I like it.
It's that's Asian, right?
Thank you, Julian.
No,
I don't know.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what you are, but I appreciate you. Thank you.
Samantha Anderson, Mike Coziella, I already said that. Marielle Ekholm, Martin Ramsauer, Amy O'Hearn, John Erickson, Kelly Powell, Sierra Sorensen, Russell Tobler, Megan Case, Tim Rappold, Caitlin Wilhelm. God damn it. John Walker, Melissa Roker, Ted Bush, James Hooper, Jibs, Trash and Treasures. That's what it is. Jibs, Trash and Treasures. That's also, I think that's Skip Beeman's. No, it's not. It's somebody else's. Damn it. I forget who it was.
I'm so confused.
I wrote the person's name down, and I was really excited to say it. Whatever. Anna Edwards, Rachel Stora, Brandy Lee, Justin Miller, Sean Forbes, Gary Howard, Haley Robinson Smith, Matt Dietrich, Brandon Blood. Yeah, Brandon Blood. That's somebody also named Carol Cripps is somewhere in here, I think.
I believe so.
Ted Cyrus, Jonathan Nichols,
dangerous.
Under the Sea Fabrics, Haley Gottfried, Haley Marble, Wallace Schneider, Janice Hill, Brandon Rogers Lur in Israel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
He said there's never any Jews in the small towns, but there are a ton in Israel who love us.
Yeah.
So thank you, Lur.
Thank you. We love you back.
Carrie Gage. Damn it. Jordan Bennett, Evan Clausen, Melissa Chapman, Rishika Valu, Tracy Renninger, Macature Workshop.
Okay.
I don't know what
I don't know either.
I don't know what a macature is.
You're looking at me like I know. I don't know.
Look up Macature Workshop.
Yeah.
They do something. Spelling Macature.
Hey, they do something.
Yeah,
there.
they do. And they do a great job. I'm sure
they do it well, like
Sean
nobody
Brandt.
else.
Sean Brandt, Gary Stevens, Chris Dobronsky, Laura Vanio. Yes. Joe Busby, Jow Busby, Gretchen Oswalt, Mia Cunningham, and Melissa Silsby. Thank you guys so much. I think I said Melissa Chapman. If I didn't, I got you now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for every goddamn thing you guys do for us. Every review, every dollar, everything. Thank you. Every time you tell a friend or tweet about us or post about us, we just appreciate the hell out of it. Thanks for everything you guys do for us. And what if people wanted to tell you all that you do for them, Jimmy? How could they get a hold of you?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. This week has been bananas. I'm trying my best to get back to you guys. I'm sorry. I've been extremely busy and a little bit sick, so I'm doing my best. Where can they find you?
We're trying. You can find me at Jimmie P is funny, or copy and paste my last name from the show description. Don't be a goddamn hero, everybody. I'll tell you that right now, because you're not going to spell it right.
No.
But we'll be back next week with more goddamn insanity, more lunacy. Haven't decided yet, but it'll be a crazy thing.
Yes.
And by the way, if you listen to the ones you're like, oh, I've heard of this guy, listen to all of them.
Certainly.
They're the fucking ones you don't know are better. Yeah. They're crazy shit that goes on. You ever hear of Vyacheslav Dotsik?
Yeah.
No? Well, I fucking dare you to find a crazier son of a bitch than that. More worthy of a story. I'm sorry.
You
give
rooster?
A shit. What you fucking think? Yeah, you rooster, whatever the fuck. Listen to the episode. You'll know what that means. But with that said, everybody, live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey. Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. Yeah. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. Oh. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder. Follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.